pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roll with planet. Flight downside of speed off.
Yikes. You bet. Okay. We don't need any more of these.
All right, y'all, you know the drill. It's time for another NASA Spaceflight live stream over here. Let me know if you can hear me, John Galloway with NASA Spaceflight, and let me know if you can see this. We should have a booster on your screen right now. Coming back in from port, that's booster 1058. Just recently launched some Starlink satellites up there, but let me know in chat, can you hear me and can you see that beautiful shot of the booster coming back into Port Canaveral? We're going to be live here. We have the whole NASA Spaceflight team covering the return of this booster back into Port Canaveral, just a couple minutes away from it actually coming in to the mouth of the port here. But looks like 5x5, loud and clear, see and hear you. All right, that's what we like to have. So out there actually at Port Canaveral today, we have two members of the team. On the camera, we've got Thomas Berghart. Thomas, are you reading me?
I'm reading you loud and clear, Doss, and you're looking live from Jetty Park Beach, looking at B1058 on Of Course I Still Love You.
All righty, good deal. So Thomas out there set up the camera. We would not do a fleet stream without our other expert in the field out there, Julia Bergeron. Julia, do we have you on comms right now?
You sure do, John. Hi, everybody. It's Julia, and we are enjoying a beautiful evening here in Port Canaveral, and there is so much to see and so much to share with you today.
Excellent. So Thomas and Julia will be out there. Thomas going to be panning the camera as the booster comes back into port. Julia providing her fleet expertise. She is all over the port out there just about every day. And if you want to know what's going on with the SpaceX fleets, she is somebody you want to follow, especially on Twitter there at Julia_Bergeron. And then also back in the studio, I believe we've got Chris Gebhardt on the line. Chris, are you with us?
I am indeed. Good evening, Doss.
All right, and let us know if y'all can hear Chris Gebhardt there as well. Chris is dialing in remotely up from Daytona right now to provide some additional Q&A and commentary and stuff. And of course, we've got Michael Baylor on as well, doing some tech stuff in the background for us. Michael, do we have you?
Yes, how's it going, everyone?
All right. So, chat, can you hear everybody? You should have got Chris. You should have got Michael. You should have got Julia. You should have got Thomas. And me, I never stop running my mouth. Like, hopefully you've got me as well. Let me know if you can hear everybody. And we see this fantastic footage of the booster coming back in. So I'm going to kick it off this way. We've started out here with the booster coming back in a lot sooner than we thought. The Starlink launch was, what, 2 days? How long ago was the Starlink launch? How did they get it back in here this quickly? Julia, do you know what's going on that allowed them to get this booster back?
Well, I was surprised, but here's the deal. It's been a while since we've had a morning launch where it hasn't been rough out in the Atlantic. So what that enabled them to do was safe the booster, get Octograbber under there, and then start scooting home right away. So there's a nice benefit to not having those rough seas right now, and combine that with the morning launch, and here we are. And in fact, I got to tell y'all, I have to have Thomas move the camera for you. If we pan to the south just a little bit, go Ms. Tree, who caught a booster or a fairing half, right? She's the one who caught that fairing half, and that's the third time that fairing half had been recovered. She's actually already with her net out doing trials, and she's facing us right now.
Look at that. She's been out there doing like donuts or something like that. Like they're doing some, what do you think they're doing, Julia? They're like practicing? What do you mean when you say trials?
My guess, judging by their movements that we've been watching, is that they are working on that dynamic positioning system. With this being the one that actually caught the fairing half, I'm not really sure why them instead of Ms. Chief, who was unable to catch theirs, but perhaps they're fine-tuning what's going on Ms. Tree and bringing them success so that they can maybe share that with Ms. Chief. But that's just speculation.
Gotcha. But chat, y'all should be able to see that as well. That is one of the fairing catcher ships out there. That huge net on the top is how they try to catch those fairings when they come back down. And she's been out there for a while doing some tests, some training, something along those lines, it looks like. So a lot of stuff going on in port today over there. Let's pop back over to the booster. How close is the booster right now?
So the booster is not too far off Jetty, and there, Finn Falgot is actually moving them toward us right now. I'm keeping an eye on the actual channel here because I've got Eagle, who is leading the way. My guess is Eagle is going to be our crew transfer tug for the day, with GoQuest having chosen to stay in Morehead City. So they are just about at that east basin where the submarines dock. And not too far behind, we've got Christine S. and let's see, oh, and Elizabeth. So Elizabeth S. and Christine S. are not too far behind Eagle, who we should be able to see pretty soon above the dunes. So I'm hoping where we're standing on the beach, because we wanted to bring you the beautiful beach view today, we might be able to see that crew transfer going over from a tug to the, of course, I Still Love You. And I do believe that we've actually got Eagle passing us by, so we'll have that soon in our view of Jetty.
Good deal. And Thomas, I'm gonna be that guy really quickly. Could you pan back over to the fairing catcher just really quickly? Because I want to get a cool screenshot of that thing coming in so we can let people know what's happening over here. Look at that. It looks like they're just next to each other.
And it looks like they might come inching in ahead of the booster, judging by their rate of travel. So we should get a very nice view with the camera that Thomas has right now.
No kidding.
Daz, tell me when you get that one, and then I'll show you both in one.
Yeah, go ahead and go for both. I'm good to go on that. Thank you for doing that.
Wider angle, y'all are gonna love this shot.
I mean, it just looks like they're. Oh wow.
Oh wow, yeah, they're like close.
I mean, they're going to pass, the fairing catcher is going to pass right in front of the booster, it looks like. So we'll be able to tighten it up a little bit and get a shot with all of them together. It's like a family portrait almost.
Yeah, like I said, there is a lot to see out here in Port today, isn't there?
God, it really is. Thank you all again for getting out a little bit of a surprise there that they were coming in so quickly, and y'all sort of scrambled. I know you were just getting off work there, Julia, and then Thomas came down with the live stream setup so that we could share this with y'all. So look at that.
Oh yeah, no problem. It is my pleasure. And actually, I'm going to ask Thomas in a moment to pan over to Jetty because we've got the pilot boat going out, and right behind is Eagle, and it looks like there is indeed a landing crew on Eagle on the bow. So what happens is that pilot boat goes out to Finn Falgot, and the captain who's currently on Finn will not be the one that brings them in, as tradition calls for. The Port Canaveral pilot captains actually do bring them in for safety. So, Thomas, I'm going to be that girl and tell you to quick pan over right now because Ms. Tree is about to cut off that booster, and it's really pretty, y'all.
Look at that.
And there are ships out there today enjoying the views, and yep. So this is not a situation like we saw during Endeavor's splashdown. Folks around here will indeed keep a polite distance away from these ships. So I don't expect anything unexpected that way, y'all.
Good deal. Talking about, of course, the other sorts of craft that are around, keeping their clearance from these things as they come into port, right?
That is correct. They are definitely staying out of the channel and just observing from a safe view. I know sometimes lens compression might give a different, impression, but they're safely far enough away. So.
Yeah. And I got to do this really quickly. There's some super chats coming in. I don't want to be way too far behind in super chats. So let me make sure we get this all good. Bone Z, new membership over on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the support. Joining the group there. Harry Young, tossing in some euros, saying, wow, that camera looks crisp. This is our live stream camera we use for the launches. Harry, thank you so much for the support, the €2. Future Martian 97 tossing $20 in, saying, hi guys, here's to another great stream. Look at that fantastic shot. I love the waves in the foreground and the jetty. That's actually, when we say jetty park, that's the jetty, right? But
that is the jetty that we are looking at, and we are on the beach. You are correct.
Yeah. God,
and you should see the smile
boat, right?
on our faces. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Julia, the little boat there going out, that's the pilot you were talking about, right?
That is correct. So that's going to pass Ms. Tree and go out to Finn Falgot. And then you're going to see about to pass Ms. Tree will also be Eagle with its landing crew.
Yeah.
Like pirates, you got to take over the ship.
They're taking over the ship. Hey, Rough Rider says surprise live stream. Thank you, Rough Riders, for the support. Always showing up with the super chats there. And then Aviation 365, a new membership over on the YouTube side. And I don't want to miss this. We've also got over on Twitch, Hydra, 58 months sub to my Twitch channel over there. Look at it, just so many things going on. God. Thank you, Hydra, for the 58 months of support. And then Hip Hop Anonymous, 56 months. Sarian TX has been a member of my live stream over on Twitch for 70 months. That's the high score. That's the most you could be subscribed to my Twitch stream, 70 months. AOS, and yes, that would appear to be a booster. Yeah, Sarian, thank you so much again for the support and the long time. Again, we're streaming at both places here, right? We've got the NASA Spaceflight stream over on YouTube, and the NASA Spaceflight gives me permission to simulcast that over on my Twitch stream. So we're in both places. Anyways, we do have some questions. If y'all have any questions for us, tag us in chat at NASA Spaceflight on YouTube, or just ask the question in the Twitch chat over there, and we will be happy to answer some questions about everything that's going on. But what we see right now is the tug taking the crew out there to put some human beings aboard the booster. Thomas, let's get the booster and see what the booster is looking like right now. Gah.
You know, John, it was such a surprise that they were coming in. I didn't even grab my big camera. So I want to thank you all for being with us on a live stream today, because instead of taking a lot of pictures, I get to spend quality time with y'all.
There you go. We'll have the pictures take themselves for a little while, and you can just share your fleet expertise with us. How's that sound, Julia?
Oh, I'm just enjoying watching it all and talking with you guys.
Excellent. So let's see here. Questions. How does the drone ship move? What we see right now with the booster on it, that's actually the ASDS, right? The automated, what is it? Automated spaceport drone ship. But how is that
Correct.
moving right now? Is it moving on its own, or Thomas hearing what I'm asking and then queuing up the shot with the answer in it? So how do they move those around, Julia?
It is by tugboat. So ASDS might be a little bit misleading of a term. The tugs actually bring, of course, I Still Love You, and Just Read the Instructions out to the landing zone. And then about 2 hours before launch, they board the ASDS, and they'll make sure the deck is clear and ready to receive a booster. And then the key thing is they will unchain from the tug. Once they do that, they transfer on, they go a safe distance. And y'all actually saw that distance from courtesy of SpaceX. We saw a view of booster, right? From Just Read the Instructions. They go about 3 knots away, they watch it land. The only time that they are autonomous is in that window of time when they are unchained from the tug. So they will run those 4 boosters, or 4 thrusters, 1 at each corner. Of course, I Still Love You still has the smaller thrusters on. And then we've got Just Read the Instructions with those large, what are they, like 3,000 horsepower thrusters on each corner. So they'll hook back up after the booster is safe, and they'll reboard, put Octograbber underneath, put the chain on, and come home, and here they are.
Excellent.
And what you're seeing right now, everybody, you've got Tug Eagle right in front of the drone ship from our perspective. That's heading out to do the crew transfer, we believe. And then off frame, the 2 other tugs are now also leaving Port Canaveral, and they're going to go out and help guide, of course, I Still Love You, into the dock.
So we should be able to see that crew transfer, y'all.
Yeah. And if Thomas was a little bit quiet there, we'll crank Thomas's mic up just a tad. But y'all are the people out there. You have the eyes on the scene. Y'all just show us what there is to see as we see Booster 1058 just recently, a couple days ago, successfully launching those 60 Starlink satellites up into orbit, already headed back to Port Canaveral, going to get it back on the shore, prep it for another launch. I don't think we know what its next launch is going to be. Do we know, or do we just guess what the next launch is going to be, or how do we?
We do not have a speculative assignment for this booster, I don't think. We definitely don't know for sure. Sometimes we have a reasonable guess. Off the top of my head, I don't think we have an idea for this one just yet.
Good deal.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that too, that we've seen SpaceX. It's actually this booster that holds the record of fastest turnaround time between 2 missions of the same vehicle. between Demo 2 and Anasis 2 as well. But even that was on the magnitude of about 2 months of about, it came in like 51 or some odd days when it was all said and done for that booster. So unless SpaceX goes for like a land speed record with this one, we could probably expect it to fly again in late November, early December, based on their turnaround timelines.
Excellent. And I'm going to do this just real quick, y'all. I just got a tweet out so we could share this with some other people. So right now, I'm K-Space Academy in the YouTube chat. And if you want to bring your friends over, you can share this link right here. Nope, that is actually the link to the chat. Oops, that's not what we want to put. This is the link to the tweet right here. And go ahead and spread the news around. There we go. Spread the news. Maybe retweet that tweet and let people know that we are going to have this fantastic live coverage courtesy of the Florida division of the NASA spaceflight team down there at Port Canaveral today.
And what you're seeing right now, that yellow and red tug going out, I didn't catch which one is which, so I'm not going to say the name of it, but it is one of the tugs that's going to go out and help guide, of course, I Still Love You into port. The other one's still behind the jetty. I'll show you that when it comes out.
Good deal. There's so many boats out there. It's such an active day. I mean, I know it's oh yeah, Dust. It's a port. There's always boats there. Geez, but the booster sort of makes everything look different. It makes the boats look small, doesn't it?
Right now, we're seeing the lead tug, Eagle, kind of backing up towards the coast. I Still Love You. I believe that is in preparation for crew to hop on over and complete the crew transfer. Right, Julia? Julia's having technical issues. Hold on, we'll get her back.
Yeah, let us know if there's anything we can do to help there, Thomas. Just let us know.
Yeah, Julia's on that right now. We'll have her back in a minute here. I'm going to try and zoom in and see if we can get a good shot of crew transfer. You can see the garage for Octograbber is open. Octograbber likely underneath the booster. We can't see it because of the end of the drone ship's in the way, but
And the tug there is actually going to onboard the crew from the back of the barge. They sort of get in a trailing position, and the
Yeah.
crew, like we saw last time, will sort of hop up onto the back there. And in the foreground, you can see the blue thruster. That's one of those position-keeping thrusters. Whenever the drone ship is out there maintaining position for the booster to land on, that blue arm sort of turns down into the water, and it's got these big electric motors, propellers on the bottom of it. Those can rotate 360 degrees once they push down into the water, and that booster, or the drone ship actually uses those positional thrusters to maintain a set position for the booster to target.
Can you hear me now?
You're super quiet, Julia. You're really quiet there.
Yeah, I think you heard her through my mic and not hers.
Yeah. So again, if you're just joining us, we are live for the return of the booster and all sorts of fleet operations going on down there at Port Canaveral today. The booster is just about going to go behind the pier there out at Jetty Park.
Yeah, it really is fascinating just how close you can get to this equipment and these vehicles as they're being brought back into to Port Canaveral, because there, of course, the angle kind of makes it look a little closer than it actually is, but not by much here. To me, I think it's a wonderful testament, sort of like what Julia was saying earlier, to the respect that people have for this, right? That you get up close to something, but respect the technology and respect what this area is and what keeps us going, and that's definitely space. And it's really, really cool to me that people can go up and get this close to actual flight hardware. Once again, really cool.
Absolutely, Chris. So it looks like the do we think that the crew transfer has happened yet, or no? The boat is still trailing there, so we can't see that people have crossed over yet. But we are going to have our view blocked just a little bit by the end of the pier.
Yeah, crew transfer is likely occurring right now. Since it's behind the pier, I'll actually just try and zoom in on some booster features here. Let's see what we can see.
Yeah. And while you get that set up, Thomas, it looks like the fairing catcher is also coming back into port right now. It has
Yes.
made its way into the mouth of the port, and it's going to be going up. I'm not sure if it's going to dock over the north docks or along the loading area, but it is still coming in, it looks like. It's just another fantastic view of all the activity happening at the port today. But let's pop back over. It looks like we've got some grid fins, maybe. Are those grid fins, Thomas?
Again, I'm at max zoom right now, but yes, you can see the grid fins folded back in after guiding the booster to a successful landing after its mission. You can see the top part
Hey,
is that
John,
black
can you hear
interstate.
me now?
Yeah, we got you back, Julia. Now we can hear you.
Wonderful. I can hear you too.
Excellent. So, like Thomas was saying, those are the grid fins up on the top that deploy out to the side and help guide the booster back down. You can see the logos there as well. Got the American flag and the Falcon 9 booster. How many launches has this, or I guess how many landings? This is the 4th mission for this booster, right?
This is the 3rd mission, so 3rd launch, 3 launches and landings under this booster's belt.
Excellent. And oh, it's actually going to clear the end of the pier. The booster is going to go off the end of the concrete pier there, so we can see. That's Finn Falgout, one of the tugs, I guess, that actually pull these things around. But this is, I don't know if this is this is like a long range tug, because this is the tug that takes the drone ship all the way out to the landing zone, correct?
That's correct. Now, the funny thing is, actually, our friends Tug Hawk, right?
Yep.
Hawk is out there, or yeah, they're about, well, they're too far off sea yet to see, off shore to see, but they've got, just read the instructions. The thing about Hawk is it is the same size as the tugs that we see in port here now. So one of the jobs they do when they're not working for SpaceX is they are actually doing exactly what the other tugs are doing that we see right now, guiding other ships into port. So size isn't everything, but sometimes size matters. If it's a little rougher out at sea, they might choose to pick a bigger ocean tug than one that's more of a port tender.
Gotcha. So is ocean tug, is that like the way to refer to that, or what do you
That's
what do you
how I
call
refer to them.
it? Ocean tug, I like it.
Yeah. But these can haul a heavier load too. But ones the size of Hawk and the ones we're seeing in front of us right now definitely can do that job.
Gotcha. So do we see
And
any
actually,
crew-
you can see now that they've cleared the jetty. They are still going backwards on Eagle. So we should start seeing crew on deck, but we may not see them till we get to the stern. They may not have moved yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll get a little bit of zoom there and see what we can see. The tug is actually going backwards right now. Am I crazy, or is it? It's going backwards.
No, you're not crazy. It's going backwards. And from my view, I don't have the nice zoom view you all have, but on the tug, do you all still see crew at the bow of the tug?
I don't see any crew on the bow of the tug.
Okay. All right. I'm just seeing equipment then, which means as they pass us by, we should see them on the stern of course, I Still Love You. And you can see that garage up. So you may actually see crew the technicians come through there. Or they just don't want to hang out and look cool standing next to a booster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was at least one person. Let's pop back over and have a look. Let's see here. There was somebody walking around that I saw. You can see it's tied down. The big red, the red things draped over those. Those are those big tie downs that connect it after they get crew on there to Octograbber, and people walking by there as well. But I'm not seeing anybody. Is that a trick of the camera because we panned to 90 degrees? Like the booster's not actually leaning here, right?
No, I don't see a lean. I think it's just our pan.
Okay, it's just the pan. Yeah.
That would be funny. That was a good question, Doss. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, That looks leany.
I just re-leveled the camera. Should look better now, does.
All right, cool. Thank you. I was looking at it. I was like, that looks pretty. Looks like it's leaning quite a bit there.
Do y'all see a nice little glint up there near the grid fins of, the sun shining on that booster there? So let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
Everybody, a lot of people I hear say there's a lot of soot on that booster. Okay. Does light reflect off of soot, John?
Not very well.
So I would beg to differ that indeed it is scorch, as Elon calls it. Scorch,
Yeah.
you can't just rub off with your finger.
Gotcha. So it's not just some particulate that's stuck to the outside. It's actually a little bit more permanent markings on it, huh?
Yeah, I would think of it more like a plasma burn. So I've been up really close to 1021, which was the first reused and landed booster. And it's really crazy because it'll look like a paint drip, but it's absolutely perfectly smooth.
I mean, the camera is still leaning just a little bit, and it makes it look like it's moving quickly. Like it's like
It's-
back and forth.
It's like
It's
it's like a
moving
Looney
really quick,
Tunes
like-
cartoon, right?
I'm not going to lie to y'all. We're getting to the point where Thomas is going to lose her to the East Basin, and we are going to have to pack up and move. One of the
Gotcha.
nice things about where we are on the beach is we can pack up and move pretty quick. So I'm expecting y'all to stay with us so that we can chat more when I move.
Yeah, we are planning on getting some other shots here. I know. Let's have a look. Like we can get the logo and the grid fins. I mean, this is still a fantastic shot here.
Oh, yeah. This is
Let's stick with
beautiful
it
as
just
the
a little
sun's
bit
hitting it.
longer.
Absolutely.
I love the fact that it's
There we
leaning.
go. And off it rides into the sunset, right?
That's so pretty.
It honestly looks like it should have little speed markers behind it more than anything else. Like, look how fast it's going. Zoom.
And my view right now is it's like there's a booster just sitting on the sand dunes right now. It's kind of pretty. I did have to take a picture of that.
It's almost like a my people need me sort of situation here.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, that's so pretty over there.
Yep. But we are losing a little bit more of the shot here. So probably the right thing to do is for y'all to pack it up and move to a new location. Nobody go anywhere. We are definitely going to continue the live coverage all the way up until this thing is all the way over to the dock. But right now we are just about to lose the booster, it looks like.
Yeah, maybe Thomas and Julia could like move the camera to where they birth it so we can see that happen. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hilarious that it's just slightly tilted back. I'm okay with it though.
All right,
Let's
Dutch,
give it
just
another-
tell me when you're good to let me cut this camera, all right?
Yeah, give it about another 60 seconds maybe. Again, folks, we're live. We're able to go out here and cover this sort of stuff because of y'all's support. There's an entire backlog of super chats and stuff like that. I will get caught up on the super chats in just a second, but we are going to have them move up to a little bit better vantage point. Let's put it that way. The leaning booster of the Cape.
Love it.
Pisa's got nothing on this. I definitely don't want to miss any of this. So I think maybe it's time for y'all to start packing up because it is going to take some time to get over there. So let's go ahead and bring down the broadcast kit. Y'all get up to the other location so we can get it back on. Y'all, we're not going anywhere. We're answering questions, talk about super chats, the whole shooting match. Don't go anywhere, but let's let them get packed up. The booster now has a palm tree halfway up it. And as they do that, we will continue to hang out here with you live from Port Canaveral as the NASA Spaceflight crew covers the return of Booster 1058 back to Port Canaveral.
Indeed, and you can see some of the support craft coming up the channel now. And any second, we should see a booster emerging there on the left-hand side of our screen.
Yeah, we've got I think that's is that the pilot that's all the way up there, or is that another craft that I don't recognize? I see the tug coming in.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I was trying to see. I was trying to look for any identifying marks. I don't see any. On here, but I love this view. Like you get, I mean, you get a sense of like the activity and the commerce that's going on here, and then you've just got pelicans.
Just pelicans.
A lot of
Hanging out.
pelicans. Yeah.
All right. Again, folks, thanks everybody for hanging out. I don't know if we have anybody to go through some of the questions and see if we could grab some of the questions into the queue there. That would be a help for us. But they are moving our remote or our mobile broadcast kit. They are moving that around to a little bit different vantage point, and we should be able to see this come all the way up to the dock where they will offload the booster. Is that? Oh no.
Indeed. This is, oh no, that's Finn. Is
That's
that Finn
Falcon.
Filibert?
Yeah.
Okay. So here it comes. It should be right after this one.
It's a nice day out there. I'll tell you that much.
I'm glad it looks like that. It's extremely hot and humid here today. Actually,
it looks nice, but it's really hot. It's really hot and humid.
Yeah, looks are deceiving.
Do not be fooled by how nice it looks outside. It's still toasty.
Yes, or the fact that it's October. Florida awkwardly lurches backward and forward through from summer into autumn. So we last week was really, really nice and pleasant to be outside, and this week it's like the middle of summer again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of questions in there. Chris,
but here comes the booster, DOS.
Oh, can you see? Oh,
we
no
have
way.
to zoom out.
Look at that.
Yeah. Now,
we may have been able to see that for a lot longer than I thought. How much? Oh, we did.
Think so.
Hang on, I gotta
so.
Control.
There we go. Right.
Oh wow, it's gonna be a lot taller than our tests. We did the math, and the booster may be a lot taller than we anticipated as it gets closer to the NASA spaceflight Fleetcam that is installed at Port Canaveral now. There is nobody operating this camera except for me, folks. We have installed a camera. It's actually a remote PTZ camera at Rusty's Seafood. We worked with a restaurant there to get a camera that we can control remotely and watch all of the operations without actually having to deploy one of our camera crews. So this is I'm not going to say autonomous. This is a teleoperated camera that we can log into and watch these things happen, even bad weather. We don't have anybody available. The kit is somewhere else because there's a launch or something like that. This camera is courtesy of our fine friends at Rusty's Seafood. So I don't know if anybody noticed us switching back and forth. I switched back and forth a couple times there when the fairing catcher went by, but this has been months in the making. This is when we hinted over in the members Discord. You'll see what sort of Amazon boxes your super chats turn into. Right now, this is a remote operated camera that we can deploy anytime we want and bring in to live broadcasts. So,
yes, indeed. And I just want to say, on all of our streams, we always say that your support and your channel memberships and the super chats and sitting through those advertisements at the beginning of the videos, was helping us to have the ability to add some new things to our broadcast. And I'm happy to say that this is the first that we are able to implement and bring to all of you. And as this booster comes farther down the channel here and up to the dock, you will see exactly what this camera is capable of doing. And DOS, I think we'll be able to show them a couple of other things that this camera is capable of seeing that we have discovered. Right? Yeah. Like this is good. But I did want to take a moment to say thank you truly to everyone for the support, because it was that support that has enabled this and the other projects that we are also in the process of working on to expand our coverage. So thank you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Camera Bot Fan Club. Nice. Future Martian.
Yes.
Camera Bot Fan Club. This is one of the coolest things for me personally, y'all. I've done so many live streams where I have to get on a plane, I fly to Vandenberg, I drive to the Cape, I go to Wallops, I'm all over the map to get a live stream going. And then started working with NASASpaceflight, and we were able to get some other crews. We get multiple kits out there. Chris G has run streams. Now Thomas is running streams. Of course, we have Mary Boca Chica Gal running these remote kits. This is our first camera that doesn't actually require us to deploy an operator to the field. We've deployed the camera, and anytime we can hop into the feed from the camera and we can bring it into part of a broadcast here, this really is cool.
It really is. And, major thanks to Rusty Seafood and Oyster Bar for partnering with us on this and being just as excited about it at every stage of the process as we were.
Absolutely. I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell anybody. Anything. But when I went down to Florida the previous week, I was actually installing this camera. We were running it through all the paces, doing all the testing, getting it online and everything like that. And then it just so happened I got to see a lot of scrubs too. But I did not go.
You too, Das. Yes.
I know, right? I didn't drive 7.5 hours down there to see a bunch of scrubs. I actually drove down there personally to install this NASA Spaceflight Fleetcam. So it's just, I'm at my house in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the NASA Spaceflight studio, which is like actually my spare bedroom, and I'm clicking on things on my computer, and I can point this camera around. I can zoom it, focus, all the stuff. There's a lot of different things we'll show you that happen over here at the port in just a minute. There'll be a
We
launch pad
even tried to install the control software in my Tesla. That was fun. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but that would have been just way too cool and on brand.
We can bring the feed from the camera up in Chris's Tesla, but we could not get the control software installed in the Tesla. We tried it, and it just wasn't going to happen. I'm not giving up on that yet, Chris. I want you to
I'm
be
not
able
either. No, I
want you to be able to see a SpaceX booster controlled by your touchscreen in your Tesla car.
Exactly. The future is now.
So again, y'all, thank y'all for all the support. This is something we've been working on for this camera. I don't know. Does anybody remember the Hummingbird streams? Like, not Hummingbird streams, but every now and then, a couple of other times, I would bring hummingbirds up on the feed when something else was going on. This camera was actually here at my house in Charlotte, and I was configuring it, testing it, making sure everything worked. And I showed y'all a shot off this camera a couple times on the with the hummingbirds on it. This was on my back porch watching the hummingbirds for a bit. And then I don't think anybody noticed. I'm gonna have to find. Let's see. Wow, it's a lot of work to do where I'm actually tracking the booster and talking and bringing up other production stuff. But we're nowhere near the range of what we can see with this camera, y'all. We still
we're not.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Yeah. And
Remember,
you all have the same reactions we did.
We're still moving the other remote camera as well, the mobile camera we have as well. Let me see here.
Do you maybe want to tease what it can see?
No. We'll just keep watching the booster here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
So the other night on one of the webcasts, we were actually standing by for the launch of GPS-3. Mm-hmm. And during the webcast, I cut to a shot of SLC-40 that was off of this camera, and nobody noticed. Yep. So I'll do some panning around in just a minute. When we're going to get the booster, it's going to get over. Then we'll have a little bit of a place where we don't have as great a shot on it. But when we get there, we can see multiple launch pads as well. We've got a fantastic view of SLC-40 from the camera. I have a clip that came off the camera of the venting. So static fires and venting and all the things that happen, putting Falcon 9's vertical on pad 40.
Yes.
We can see that from the Fleetcam.
Yes, and we can see a few other pads too. So
yes,
stay tuned. Yes, and Yeah, we may or may not have done a test during Starlink DOS, right?
Yep, we did do a test during Starlink, and I've got some videos. I'm not going to cut to those videos yet. I will. I'll hop over that way. But there's so many different things that this can see. I'll queue up I did a time lapse of the Starlink launch. We actually tracked the Starlink launch too with the remote camera.
Yeah, we did.
Look, I know some people watching the stream are probably like, oh my gosh, these people are giggling like a bunch of school kids. And honestly, we are.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing. Oh.
That did not happen this morning either.
Oh yeah. I couldn't get that video edited in time, but y'all know this morning how the fairings came back into port. We were watching the fairings come back into port. Who was here for the SpaceX testing down with Starship at Boca Chica last night? Do y'all remember when Thomas and I started to giggle and then went off mic for a while?
Honest.
It's because we were watching the fairings return back into port.
And we've had a couple of quick questions come in that I've seen that I want to grab.
Yeah, Chris, go for it.
I'm here, but I'm sorry, I don't have the production. I don't have that thing up yet. I'm getting logged into it now. So apologies. I can't remember the names, but I know these questions were asked. Someone asked what the record turnaround for a booster is, and that is about 52 days. And it is the booster that you are looking at right now. It would be about 52 days between its first launch on Demo 2, taking Crew Dragon with Bob and Doug on its way to the International Space Station, and then its second mission of Anasis 2 earlier this summer. And then this was its third flight, did not break the record again. So about 52 days is the current record worldwide. And it is held by the booster that you were looking at. And yes, to another question, that this is the same booster that launched the Demo 2 mission for NASA and the Commercial Crew Program.
Gotcha. And shortly, we're going to get the booster going behind. That's actually at the back end of another one of the Go boats there. That's Go America, that structure. Actually, I mean, what do I have to tell you? I can just show you. There is Go America right here. So we're going to lose the booster behind Go America for just a second. But I want to do this
who parked it there?
No. Yeah, I know, right? Jeez. Let's actually have a look at some landing legs here.
Yeah.
See what we can get.
And actually, DOS, while you do that, do you want me to run through some of the super chats that have come in?
Yes, absolutely, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Lioness for Pause, thanks so much for the $5. Very much appreciated. Troy Ryzik, thanks so much for the $5, saying thanks for all the cool pictures. And Lioness for Pause and a new channel membership as well for you and for Null Unit as well. Thank you both for the new channel memberships. Brent Sebring with $5 asking what we use to collate the questions from chat to answer. Great question there. So all credit to Michael Baylor here, who created the system to grab the chat and all the things from YouTube. And Michael, are you here? Do you want to talk a little bit about how you did that?
Yeah, so we just basically are constantly using the YouTube API to fetch all your chat messages. So when you tag us in chat with that NASASpaceflight, we automatically filter through all those chat messages and put them in a panel. And then when Chris reads the chat message, he clicks the accept message, and it sends it to our overlay system, which displays it on screen. So if I put the ticker up now, and then you can see there's Chris's message that he just accepted as a question, or a super chat in this case.
It's actually getting a little bit tough to keep up with it. I mean, the camera can definitely do it. The camera can move at 300 degrees per second, so it can almost do a 360 every second. But
look at the plane behind it. Look at the plane behind it.
Is that a plane?
That was a plane. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. UFO.
A UFO. Nice. So we're going to lose it there really quickly, but I think the rest of the NASA spaceflight crew has moved around a little bit. Let me see if we can
and we've got a lot more super chats that we are still going to get through here, but I know DOS is going to be moving the camera around, so I just wanted to really quickly say to To Johan and to Goose, thank you both for the 2 new channel memberships. Very, very much appreciated.
Let's see here. Aha! The NASA spaceflight crew checking in. We've got Thomas and Julia over here.
That proves it's true. That proves it's true.
They are actually not operating any cameras right now. They are there to enjoy the rest of the return. But Thomas and Julia, thank you all so much for operating the other camera. And some gratuitous shop plugs there as well. The Endeavor shirt that Thomas has on. Oh, that's too cool. So let's get back over and see what we can see of the booster.
Yeah, I'm going to keep running through some of our super chats here while you do that. Harry Young with the £5. Thank you so much. Saying Jetty Park, the closest point the average Joe can regularly get to active space flight hardware since 1981, upgraded in 2015. Nice. Yes, because that's true. This is the same channel that the solid rocket boosters for the space shuttle used to come through, and they were being dragged back after their missions. It's the same channel that the Pegasus barge uses when it arrives at Port Canaveral to bring the gigantic core stage and the launch vehicle stage adapter for the SLS rocket into Port Canaveral. Also the same channel that rocket ship from United Launch Alliance uses when they deliver the Atlas 5 and Delta 4 rockets from the Decatur production facility down here to the port. Of course, a lot of that is enclosed and you can't see it. But yeah, it really truly is incredible how close you can get to this equipment.
Chris, I did the math right. Look, the positive pitch on the camera can see the top of the rocket. We did so much math trying to figure out if you'd be able to see this when it zooms in.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And is that as far up as it goes?
Let's see here. Not yet.
Oh, not yet. So we really got it good.
Well, I can't even keep up with it at that amount of zoom. Wow. I'm still learning here as well, y'all.
Oh, this is so cool.
It really is. It really is cool.
Oh, man.
Camera toys. Robots and cameras.
Oh, sorry, Das. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no. I was just saying robots and cameras, like definitely 2 of my favorite things.
I think it's pretty safe to say it's all of our favorite things, but
yeah.
But what I was saying, Starman Steve with $5 saying, great work again at NASA Spaceflight. Here are all the responses to the reveal of Fleetcam. Yeah, Starman with $5. Moldy Space Industry is saying camera bot hype. Yes, indeed. Future Martian 97 with a $20 super chat saying hashtag camera bot fan club. Awesome. And Daniel with $5, surprise camera celebration time. Yes, indeed. You know how hard this was not to accidentally slip up and reveal to somebody? I mean...
Okay, time out. Funny story, Chris, and I'm going to keep trying to pay attention here so I can keep tracking this thing. When I was installing the camera, and I hope this isn't too much information, John Krause actually came and ate at the restaurant and walked underneath me when I was installing the camera. And oh my God, I wanted to text him so bad. I'd be like, John, look up. But I didn't. No leaks. No leaks allowed whatsoever.
Exactly. No leaks.
Again, folks, the new NASA Spaceflight Fleetcam that we are revealing on the live stream, this is a remote-operated PTZ camera that our good friends at Rusty's Seafood, it's one of the restaurants. It's the restaurant that you're a NASA Spaceflight viewer that you're going to go and eat at if you go to Port Canaveral. That's all I'm going to say. We've been working with them for months. They gave us permission to install this camera and an internet connection at their location there at Port Canaveral. And we will be using this camera. We've got it set up so we can cut to views of this camera just about any time there is something at port to see. So when you see the camera moving around, that's actually me. I'm at my studio in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am remote. I'm teleoperating that camera. I can pan, tilt, zoom, focus, exposure, like all the different controls that you'd have on a camera. I am able to do it. There you go. There's the Fleetcam partner up in the upper right-hand corner, Rusty's Seafood and Oyster Bar, located at Port Canaveral, rustyseafood.com. So what I want to do is confuse their webmaster really quickly.
Why?
I hope they have a good I'm getting their website really quickly, right?
Okay.
What I want people to do is click on this link that I'm putting in chat. That is a link to Rusty's Seafood. When they get this big sudden spike in traffic, we can tell them it's because of the new NASA Spaceflight Fleetcam that they allowed us to install there. But go over there and check out Rusty's Seafood. If you're in Port Canaveral, there's something about gator tacos or something like that. At some point, the NASA Spaceflight crew is going to be sitting down there at the deck, and we will do a live stream hangout with y'all using Fleetcam. Not today. We need to set that up a little bit better before we do that. But that is a thing, and we are just supremely appreciative of Rusty's for working with us and giving us permission to bring these shots to you.
Indeed. And sort of along those lines, a lot of people in chat shouting out their support and thanks for Rusty's, including Jeff Leclerc, who says, does Rusty's Seafood take out-of-state orders? I wish they did.
Out-of-state orders, nice. They're going to ask him if can you ship anything to us? Chris, let me look at this real quick.
Someone else, Sarah, calling for an emoji of the Rusty's Seafood cam emoji for our Discord for our members. So might have to do that too.
Look at that.
Look at that sunset. Look at
Not
that.
a lot of clouds today. I'm trying to frame it just right.
Oh,
Right there. No, back a little bit. Okay, good. It's cool. NC representing. Thanks for the coverage, y'all. Chad Krotz, thank you very much for that. I just looked over and I saw the super chat there, Chris. Thank you so much for keeping up with those. It's almost like you still need a camera operator, somebody who's dedicated to operating the remote camera. I mean, I can click on things and move it around, but in order to keep track of what's going on, you really need somebody there paying close attention to it.
you really do. Yeah.
This is just
I mean, because this is going to be an interesting learning curve for all of us as we as we bring this up and running and some of our other ventures that we're working on too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, Thomas, it sounded like we had Thomas back there for a second. We got you back on the net.
You do. I just wanted to chime in and give another thank you to everyone who has given us the support to enable NSF's new Fleetcam. I hope you guys like the view. There's a lot of cool things we can do with this, and we're only at the beginning right now. But just a huge thank you to all the memberships, all the super chats, all of the people who tune into our live streams and our videos. You guys are the reason we get to do these cool stuff, get to show you even cooler things. And we've got even more in the works that we hope to show you very, very soon. But right now, a gorgeous view at Port Canaveral that we can cut to pretty much whenever we want. And it's because of you guys. So thank you guys so much. We're just so excited to show you some really cool coverage of all the spaceflight activities in Port Canaveral these days.
Yeah. I mean, Thomas, you're not wrong about that. This project, it's been sort of a project for me. I've been working on it for literally months, and we're able to afford the things, the camera, all the wiring and everything. We ordered different backup batteries, and it's actually a power over Ethernet, so there's an injector involved. We ordered the internet connection install. The camera has a dedicated internet connection there at Rusty's, so we're not messing up their point of sale systems or their office or anything like that. Like, the camera has its own internet, and we've been working with it for over a week now, actually installed. I went down there personally to install it, got it set up out there, ran it through all the paces, and I've got a couple time lapses. Once we get the booster over there, I'll actually bring up some of the time lapses I've been working on, or not. We'll call them jack lapses, maybe, like sped up video is what they really are, because they're not technically time lapses. But the fairings coming back in last night, I've got some pictures of that I can show you. The launch, the Starlink launch, I've got a cool time lapse of the rains coming in after the Starlink launch happened the other day. Just so many different things, bits of content and types of coverage that this camera has enabled us already, and we hadn't even announced it to you yet.
Can we show one of those clips that we did record of either the GPS T-minus 20-minute Ventep Pad 40 or that tracking shot of the Starlink launch?
Yeah, I'm gonna work, Chris. If you answer some questions,
I've got questions.
Handle some super chats. Yeah,
100%, man. Yeah. And I really want to start with this one from FHM Consulting saying, You're almost 24/7 now. How am I going to get any work done? To that, I say mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
But we are very, very excited, and I'm happy to see all the excitement that everyone is sharing with us too, including Elizer. Apologies if I didn't say that correctly. Who's asking? With this new camera, we need a Florida Ship Watchers merch as well. So yeah, some new merch for the store, definitely.
Yeah, the Fleet Watchers almost, right?
Yes, yeah, the Fleet Watchers. Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah. And to sort of bring this and to sort of balance this out between the excitement of Fleetcam and some of the other questions that we've had, Andy was asking, are there people on the boat when the booster lands? That seems pretty dangerous, and that's a good question. No, the two ASDSs, autonomous spaceport drone ships, both Just Read the Instructions and Of Course I Still Love You, are completely autonomous for the landing portion of the mission. So there are 4 huge thrusters that are deployed down into the water that allow the drone ship to station keep and stay exactly where it's supposed to, and then communicate with the booster as it's coming down for its landing. I believe the nearest crew are a couple of miles away, away from the drone ship and safe when these boosters come down. And then Octograbber goes out and grabs the booster's bottom and secures it down to the deck. And then the crew can go on to the drone ship to start doing the other safing operations that are needed as they're brought back to Port Canaveral. And just going to run through some more of our super chats here and new memberships. The Sparrow, thank you so much for the new membership. Kyle Higgins and Eric Bowerman, both new channel members. Thank you so much for that continued support. That really appreciated. Really appreciated. And Jack here with a $2 super chat and asking a question: how will they land the center core on the USSF mission? Yeah, so this is the next flight of the Falcon Heavy. USSF 44 is its code name. Not to be confused with NROL 44, which is the classified National Reconnaissance Office mission on the Delta IV Heavy that is now scheduled for no earlier than October 15th per airspace closure notices issued by the Coast Guard. But on that mission, because of the nature of what it needs to do, the center core is actually has to be expended. So the 2 side boosters and cores will actually fire for longer than we've seen on previous Falcon Heavy missions and actually not have enough propellant to return back to Port Canaveral. So they will land on the 2 drone ships, both Of Course I Still Love You and Just Read the Instructions will be deployed in the Atlantic for that mission. And the center core will basically burn to depletion of all of its propellants and then be ditched into the water. And into the Atlantic. And again, that is not, that is driven by the requirement of the mission. Because as much as we've become accustomed to getting all of the boosters back on every single mission, there are still some flights that need certain elements of the Falcon Heavy to be expendable in order to accomplish the overall mission objective. And USSF 44 is one of those. Where they can luckily have enough margin left to get the 2 side cores back, but not the center core. But great question there.
And Chris, I'm probably 60 seconds away. I'm going to set up a picture-in-picture, and we can do the video we've got of the fairing catcher ships coming in late last night, coming in about 4 a.m.
Awesome. Let me know when you're ready. I can keep running through some super chats here.
Yeah, do a couple more.
Yeah. So the Mosh Pit with $5, thank you so much. They're saying, nice, the new camera looks good. And yeah, we're really happy with the quality that we got here for this one. Michael Shimmer as well with $5. Thank you, very much appreciated. Bill D with a $20 super chat saying, glad you're spending my beer money on good things. It's also,
Yeah,
maybe there's a beer,
we we're not over here putting Ferraris in our Ferrari account, okay? We're
But
putting
no,
cameras
we
in our
are
camera
not.
account.
No, we are not.
So check this out. I'm going to picture
Yeah,
in
look
picture
at
this.
this. Yeah.
And here is last night, the fairing catcher ships coming back in. This is a video that Michael Baylor actually put together for us from that last night. So I'll just picture in picture that while the booster continues to track against the other side of the stream.
Yeah, that's when me and Oz kind of lost our mind during
We
the
definitely
Starship
did.
stream last night when we saw that arm kind of coming behind that building.
Yes, indeed.
We didn't
And I
know
mean,
what
look
it was
how
going to look like.
clearly you can see all of this at night too. This is incredible. Yeah.
This was the first time we had tracked anything like this with the camera, especially one of the fairing catcher ships. So we were learning different settings. We were trying all sorts of different stuff. But that is what we saw first, that arm coming out from behind the building there. And that's actually sped up a little bit there, right, Thomas? The sign started to blink a lot more.
I mean, Michael, yeah, in the top left is the indicator.
Sorry,
for
Michael,
fast
yeah.
going. Yeah.
I didn't say that Thomas made this video, did I?
No, you said Michael made a video.
Okay, good.
All right.
Whew. All right, thanks.
I have a question though that I want to ask as we watch this too, and it's from Holden Lieb, who's saying, will they do anything with the booster tonight? And if so, will we see it? Now that we have this camera that doesn't require anyone to be there, what's our plan in terms of watching this activity with the booster for the first time?
That is a good question. I mean, right now we're at a sort of point where we don't want to leave it unattended, so we want to have hosts online for it. But I think as we see them get it docked here, we'll see what we can see and then come up with a plan on what we're going to do. But I'd be curious to get some chat feedback. Like, chat, would y'all be interested in being able to check in on the operations, or how do y'all think that that should work?
Yeah, so let us know in chat what you'd like to see. Do you want this to be something that we leave up that y'all can check in on periodically and when you want? Let us know what you want there.
And Chris, we may very well start out
Right.
with it being a members only thing, because there's definitely going to be some kinks and bugs and stuff that we have to work through.
True.
So it may be a members perk to start. Yesterday I was talking about some things for members and doing some tests for members, and this may be one really cool thing that we could provide the members so they could sort of help us work out some of the kinks.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's stable enough for us to do this with you when all of us are here, right? And when you're closely monitoring it, but we're not quite at the point of 24-hour leave it up yet with some of our kinks. Yeah.
Because there's a lot more that goes into it than just, oh, the camera's online, just leave it up. Like, well,
Right.
Are you going to leave chat up? Is anybody going to moderate chat? Are people going to get notifications? How long will the stream stay up? Or are people going to say like, oh, that stream's always there, there's no reason to look at it? Like, there's still a lot of things that we have to sort of think about. But we'll definitely be taking feedback from the community and getting some ideas and just things that may be a good use of this camera. But right now, we can spool it up as part of our NASA Spaceflight broadcast feed wherever we are.
And that kind of meshes with what Josh K is asking us, which is and he's saying, wait, does this mean we get to record leg retraction?
I mean, the camera will definitely see leg retraction.
Yeah, indeed.
And I do believe, I think that our plan right now, our limitation is how many simultaneous streams we can run, and it depends on what's happening at Boca Chica tonight. So if we need the server for Boca Chica, we may not be able to keep both streams up. That's something I'm going to have to work on here in a bit.
Well, I was about to say that they're probably not going to do much work on the booster tonight. They usually do most of the processing during the daytime.
Yep.
And it's about to be nighttime. So I think they're probably going to berth the drone ship, and that will probably be all the action for today. I think maybe tomorrow morning. It depends on if it's going to work on the weekend. Sometimes they wait for Monday, but I assume, based on the manifest, that you're going to need this booster relatively soon to fly again. So I would think tomorrow morning would probably be when the exciting processing activity starts up.
So let me see here. I have some people asking what we can do. Can we zoom in on the Octobot? Let's see what we can do here.
Yes.
As we zoom in and see what.
Yeah, that's actually a question from Sarah Ecton, wanting to know if we can zoom in on Octograbber there.
What, Octograbber like that? Is that what you want to see?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at that. That's a cool shot.
Yes, it is.
Do we still have Thomas in here as well, and Julia? Like, what's the status of the team out there? I'm asking out loud, assuming that Thomas may answer me.
Yeah, I see him muted on our back channel.
Yeah, well, I'll type a text message to him. God, look at that. You can actually see the crew of the tug working up there as well in the of Elizabeth S in the control tower, the bridge of the tug. You can see some people working in there as well. So
Oh my gosh, you can, yes.
yeah.
Oh, this is so cool.
This is where you really start to get that sense of scale, you know. You got
Do you know
somebody...
how, and like for everyone watching, do you know how long we have wanted to do this with a booster?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That hint of frustration you heard in our voices when Scrubtember and Scrubtober were in full swing was partly this, like, and not being able to do this.
I mean, there's your sense of scale, right? Like how tall that booster actually is over there.
Yeah.
That's just a cool shot. There we go. Team Octograbber, nice. Imagine when the first New Glenn returns to port.
Hey Das, do we by any chance have that tracking video up already?
Tracking video.
I don't know if I want to show that, Chris.
Tracking video you're talking about.
It's not a very good track for the first attempt.
Oh, okay.
I've got the time lapse. Look, this is a. We'll give them a view of what it can do. Just 1 second. And keep talking while I cue this other video.
Yeah, in the future, we'd have to be able to track rockets with this, but I think we need a bit more practice first.
Yeah.
It is. We need to work on some software solutions to allow us to control the camera more finely. Our current interface is not ideal for tracking, but we have a solution in work. So
yeah,
stay tuned for rocket launch tracking too.
Yes. I'm gonna see. I wonder if now is the time. I mean, I know we're watching the booster return really quickly. Let me see if I could just hop to SLC 40 real quick. Stand by. The camera's gonna move. Let's see how fast it moves when I tell it to go to a preset. Oh, all right. Looks like we need to dial the preset in just a hair there, but there you can actually see SLC 40 over at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. No booster on it right now. You don't actually see GPS 3, but I guarantee you when we had GPS 3 up, you could see GPS 3 clear as day. All the venting and fuel loading, and when they start doing static fires and stuff, you could definitely see it. But this is off the NSF Fleetcam that's out there at Rusty Seafood, and that is pad 40. Let's see if I could go back. I should have a preset that's called Crane Wide. Let's see what this does. Aha, there you go. Back to the booster. I need to dial some of these back in a little bit. I wonder if they're drifting or if the mount is settling or something like that.
Yeah, not sure actually.
Yeah. There we go. That looks pretty good right there, doesn't it? Cool. Yeah, the pan and zoom. It pans at 300 degrees per second.
So just read the instruction should be coming back in the morning without a booster, of course, because GPS mission scrubbed, but it will be parking directly adjacent to, of course, it's Love You, I believe. So.
Oh, so cool. And I mean, if the manifest sort of holds, Michael, right? I mean, we're going to have sort of kind of one booster coming back after another here at toward the end of the month, right? With whenever GPS ends up going, and then the NRO mission on the 25th, and then Crew 1 on the 31st.
Yeah, really. I'm really interested. I think the NRO mission probably is going to slip, if I had to guess, because if the GPS launch flips, well, we don't have a new date for GPS launch, but depending on how far it flips, it might get too close to the NRO mission, but I'm not sure.
And y'all, I'm going to be quiet for a second. I'm just, I'm loading up this other shot here. I'm actually trying to remember where I saved the video.
I guess if the NRO mission is October 25th, currently, at least publicly, that would have to be from Slick 40 because the crew mission is launching from 39A at the end of the month. So that would mean the GPS mission would have to launch early enough that they could turn around Slick 40. So that might get tight, but we'll have to see. But regardless, there's going to be a lot of missions. So
Yeah.
So this
As
is
much as we were hoping for the dueling return of the boosters on this one.
Yeah.
the double boosters in port, right?
yeah, we were really hoping that the GPS one would have gone on time because it would have been a back-to-back launch day with the original, or one of the original Starlink dates before that scrubbed too. But there was a chance for two boosters in port at the same time. It's something that has not happened yet, but will just by either coincidence or by a Falcon Heavy dual booster recovery will happen at some point for sure.
So I'm going to do this. This isn't the video I was looking for, but this is one while we were running the Fleetcam through its paces. We actually caught some exercises that the actual capsule return ships went through. So let me see if I can bring this up really quickly. We're going to get a... Oops, just 1 second. That's my bad, I think. Ah, yes, you actually have to re-enable the feed. There we go. All right, so here, let's see. There we go. So these are the two recovery ships doing some practices over at the North Dock. Let's see how smooth that is. It's not terrible. It's a little rough the way. Basically, that video is just encoding 60% white noise because there was way too much wave action in it. And so that's just another thing that we learned. We have to watch what we put in the frame because the more waves we put in, the more white noise the encoder tries to get. But let me see. I gotta find that other one. I'll find it. Y'all just keep on hanging out while I look.
We can do that, definitely. Yeah, Chad with a $5 super chat saying North Carolina representing. Thanks for the coverage, y'all. Thanks for the support, Chad.
Nice.
Jeff with $5 asking if we can see liftoffs from Kennedy. And yes, yes, we can. That was kind of the video we were talking about a couple of minutes ago, but we can definitely see them from all of the pads at Port Canaveral. Some of them, some of them they're in the air. Some of them we got direct lines of sight to. So it's a good place. And yeah, we can see a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Michael Simmer with a $3 super chat saying, like UDOS, imagine what New Glenn's gonna look like coming in.
Oh, geez. I don't even know.
That's
so
why we
big.
got a wide angle camera.
Yeah.
We may need a wider angle camera for that.
We might, yes. Yeah. Oh, and Chad, your North Carolina buddy there, Das, with the channel membership as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chad.
Absolutely. So I'm set up for this really quickly. I'm going to put this in the picture-in-picture as well and see what this looks like. But here, the little dot that you see at the top of that was actually the launch of Starlink. Actually, that's the same booster, isn't it?
Same booster, yes.
That's the same booster. So this is just this is not the full tracking shot, but this is part of that launch there. And you can actually see our view of the launch there from the Fleetcam. And then I time-lapsed it a little bit afterwards. You can see the plume down at the bottom. Sorry about the controls on the screen. But watch this rain shower come in after the launch. And I'll just play it again. There you can actually see the liftoff, or not the liftoff. That was actually after it was up there pretty far, of the same booster that's now returned back to port. So we will continue running this through its paces and improving things. Always trying to improve our coverage and bring y'all new things, new ways to see things, new ways to experience it wherever you are in the world. but very happy with the way that it's working out so far. That's for sure. All right.
Yeah, and hey, Dos, there's a couple questions here about like how
Sure.
you're controlling this exactly from remote. If that's something you want to.
So right now we're just using a web interface. It talks over a network protocol, and we've got sort of a secure channel set up between the studio and the servers and the camera, and we can send commands to the camera. But it's literally a web page that I'm clicking on right now, and we're working on. This is my next cool thing that I want to work on. We're working on being able to remote control this camera using an Xbox controller. So the limitation of the interface that I'm using right now, or when Michael's tracking, it's sort of an on or off. So the camera's either moving or the camera's not moving, and you don't have an easy way to do different rates. So it's like, oh, move slow, oh, move faster, oh, move faster, faster. There's not a smooth way to do that. And if we're able to get this remote control with the Xbox controller working, then we'll have analog control over both axes and the zoom. So we'll literally be able to sit here back at home and play the camera as if it was a video game to track launches or ships or fairings or cranes or whatever it is that we want to see in the port. So that is something that I am working on. Not quite there yet because of some challenges with getting the Xbox controller to talk to it across the internet. And were there any other questions along those lines?
There are. Sorry, I was yawning actually. I'm hoping I could get away with that.
I can grab some, Chris. I've got it. I scrolled down here now.
Okay, yeah.
We've got, so Dominic asks, so live streams of rockets going vertical in the future? We've got a fantastic shot of Pad 40, and we missed them taking GPS 3 down. We had the camera pointed somewhere else. But we definitely know that we'll be able to catch that. Maybe for things like time lapses and stuff. I don't know if we would ever do a live stream where it's like, we're going to sit here for 12 hours while they put this thing vertical at Pad 40. But we'll definitely be able to bring some content there, especially if something else is going on in port. Let's see here.
And it confirmed a lot of our hopes of what it was going to be able to see in terms of like a fueling process with GPS, because we can see that pad for static fires as well now.
Oh yeah. I've got this one, Chris. Let me see. This is just another time lapse, because a lot of this was just I left the camera recording and then went off and did other things. But check this out. It looks like we're gonna get Julia and Thomas back in a minute here too. But let me do this time lapse or jack lapse, whatever we want to call it. Not technically a time lapse. It's a sped up video. And here is Pad 40. That's GPS 3 on the pad, and this was the T-minus 20-minute vent before the abort. But there you can see the big vent right before. They actually ended up scrubbing that one, but that was our view of that. I'll loop it a couple times. So can certainly see these things. That is about, I think it's 10, 11 miles away. It's really not bad looking, but it's not the same as, the pad cameras or anything. But we'll definitely be able to bring coverage of things like that. Static fires, we'll definitely catch static fires. Vertication, we would have seen this thing go vertical. It would have laid down and then the rocket would have come up. But we're surprised. We were just putting this thing in so that we could watch boosters come back to port. And all of a sudden it's, fairing catcher ships too. And then it's like, oh my gosh, we can see Pad 40. And then wait a second, is that like so many different things that this opens up for us? All right, and let's see if Julia and Thomas have rejoined us, because we need to get our fleet experts back into chat. I'm the camera guy. I'll answer questions about cameras all day long, but our fleet experts, that's one of the strengths of NASA Spaceflight, is we have so many different talented people with so many different skill sets. Let's see if we've got them back on. And Julia, are you with us?
I am. Hello again.
Welcome back.
Why, thank you. I had an important call, but I am back.
I have to say, Julia, thank you so much for humoring me with the go down and wave at the camera. I know that was a little bit corny, but y'all found the perfect spot so that we could get the NASA Spaceflight crew on camera there. Appreciate you doing that.
You know what you guys didn't hear? There were more than one tug that was actually honking while we were doing that.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. So I got to go out and do my selfie, which was like one of my favorite selfies yet. So thank you for visiting and making that camera possible. And I was more than happy to hold that ladder for you.
Folks, Julia was the second half of the NASA spaceflight install crew. She met me over at Rusty's and helped me get the camera installed. So I could not have got the camera installed without Julia's help. Julia, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come over there and spot me while I hung off that ladder.
It was my pleasure, and it was great to hang out with the team over at Rusty's and get in their space as well.
Yeah, literally hang out at Rusty's, right?
That is about what we were doing. Yep. Thank goodness for chains holding cameras that we wouldn't hopefully ever drop.
Yeah, we do have, folks, just as a thing for me, there is a secondary retention thing on the camera. The camera is actually up on the second story up above their deck, and there's a walkway down below it. So there's two forms of retention for the camera. There's the primary mount that's mounted into a huge, like, what was it? That thing was like a 8x4 or something like that, this massive
Yeah.
beam.
Mm-hmm.
I said I would rappel off of that mount. I wouldn't do it with anybody below me, but I didn't want it to go anywhere. Mostly, I didn't want it to shake. If I install a remote operated camera, it's not going to be shaky, all right? And
Yeah.
then there's a chain. There's a stainless steel chain that attaches it to a different part of the structure of the building. So if something happens, if these massive 4-inch lag bolts that I put in somehow rot out or whatever happens, there's still a secondary form of retention with the camera up there. And we were using that as we worked with the camera, installing it to make sure we weren't dropping stuff, basically. So again, if you're just go ahead, Julia.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just want to share with you all how beautiful of a night it is. We've had a lot of humid days, but there's a breeze. The sun's setting. I don't know if y'all, maybe not the best sunset today, but the sun's setting, and there are still people occasionally just showing up, hanging out. We've seen a couple SpaceXers pass us to visit their booster that they recently sent up from the launch team. So it's kind of one of the few tourist attractions we have around here right now, and it's been a beautiful night to watch it.
Yeah, I got the sunset. We've got a preset for the sunset, but there's not a lot of clouds in there, so we don't have the as much color as we've seen a couple other times. But that is the sunset from it, and then I can go right back over to crane wide, like that.
Oh, yeah, you got some color in there. I like that.
There we go. Back to the booster. And then I'm going to have to tune a lot of these for the overlay, because when we have the overlay on the screen, we don't I didn't account for that, basically, you know?
Oh, so here's a question, because I was on a call and I didn't get to watch them dock. Did they turn it around? Did you guys get to see the worm?
I didn't see the.
Oh,
did anybody
I
else
wasn't.
see the worm?
We were
Because I can
geeking
see where
out
the
too
meatball,
much.
yeah. I can see where the meatball used to be on your shot, but that means there would be a worm on the other side. I
On
might
the
have
other
to go
side.
for a ride.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see if we can inspect that really quickly here, Julie. Are
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
able to
tell
see the
you.
feed right now?
The SpaceX
Yeah,
side is
when
always
this
the space
booster
one.
comes in, it's like they try and hide the worm.
Yes,
And
that's
then
what
I'll go
happens.
find the worm later for y'all, but they hide the worm. They don't spin. Of course, I still love you around. It's kind of weird. It's this little dance we do around the worm.
Gotcha. Let's see here. So there's the SpaceX logo for sure, right?
Yep. And above that, near the American flag, you'll see the outline of where the meatball used to be.
And we'll go up near the American flag.
So they normally turn them around, Julia, when they come in port, but this booster, they do not do
Yeah.
it because of the...
It's like a 50-50 thing. I mean, actually more like a, 75% of the time they do a spin with it as they're docking. I don't know why. I have no technical why. I really don't know, because when they hook up, there's definitely a bow and a stern to these drone ships. Especially on, of course, I Still Love You. They actually put a specialized hook on there so that it would hold onto the chain and be easier for the tugboat to grab without accidentally catching it in their engines. So there's a definite bow and stern to a drone ship, and they always come back the same way. So if anyone out there in, SpaceX fandom can figure out why they do spin it and sometimes don't spin it, have at it.
Then I'm doing a just pan down the entire rocket. There's the top of the landing legs. You can see what part
Yeah.
is actually covered up, right? Like that's
Yep.
not doesn't have soot on it. Oops, I panned it
You
too much.
called it soot.
Oh yeah, not soot. That's right. Scorching. You want me to say scorching, right?
Exactly. Bingo. Well, you guys will get used to that yet. It's fine. So that worm is going to be 100% on the side that I don't even think with the angle of our camera we're going to catch.
Yeah.
You actually have to look at what would be the rear edge of the booster to even try and get a glimpse of red.
Gotcha. And
So
Julia,
one thing,
if there's anything you want me to point the camera at, just let me know what we want to look at or point out. Right now, we're just sort of seeing those landing legs and part of Octograbber. It looks like the tug may be backing out. Elizabeth S may be backing off there.
yeah, and actually you're in a good spot right now, because I can see that one of the arms of Octograbber in my view. So sometimes I get asked, why does Octograbber have blankets, right? Do you guys
Yeah.
see that red blanket?
Sure.
So when Octograbber is waiting in the garage, those arms are down and it's pneumatics. It's hydraulics, I think it is. They're actually protected because they're not extended. So once you extend those arms, you kind of have to protect what's going on with the mechanics so that the salty air doesn't jam them up before they get home. And that'll make sure that they can actually retract them when they need to let go.
Gotcha.
So it's not that anything's broken under there. It's not that anything's leaking. It's purely just to protect it from that salt air as it comes back home. And if you look, I know it's taking a view off of the booster, but if you look in your sunset view and zoom in, you've got Finfalget. I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of tugboats at night, and it's looking kind of pretty just looking over there at the booster waiting for its turn to dock, probably right next to them, but she's
It looks
looking
like
rather nice.
they may be still moving the drone ship a little bit. I thought I just saw it move some. Do you think they're still like finalizing the position or what?
Yeah, they might just be getting it right up on that little dock aid that they have, that little sunk. It's actually like a little mini river barge that they sink so that they can protect the dock wall from the wing extensions.
Yep.
And they might just be trying to get it up on there exactly the way they need it so that they can offload other equipment to the ramp. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, as we lose light, it's a little bit harder to see fine detail. I get more detail actually on the camera than I see, in front of me right now. I'm
Across
kind of
the way
actually
there?
blinded by, of course, I still love use deck lights.
But they are definitely, I'm having to move the camera here because they're definitely sort of finalizing.
And that could just be too, making sure that they're tying down and then they're going to tighten those tie downs before they let go. Because, yeah, as a general rule, they will not deploy those thrusters to hold it in place at the dock. Should
Right.
we have something like a storm come in, you'll actually see, much like what you're seeing right now, someone like Elizabeth S. or Christine or Eagle will be hired to babysit the drone ships in port
Right.
and hold them right against the dock while the rest of the fleet heads north or south, whatever is going to be away from the storm that's inbound. So those don't go anywhere because they can't just dock anywhere.
Are those like boats honking or something in the background? We're hearing that coming over the mic.
Yeah. So yeah, you're hearing the tugs communicate with each other through toots of their horn.
Excellent.
Pretty nifty. And on cue, right?
Yeah.
The
tugs
natural sounds of Florida.
The tugs are singing like whales.
George and Gracie? What?
Nice.
So is there anyone out there with any more questions? I mean, I could probably talk all day, but if you got a specific question.
I bet you so. Let me see if I can get through some here. Let's see.
Did y'all talk about I heard you guys when we were moving look at Go America.
Yep.
So did we talk about how Geis Offshore and how that ship is what these ships used to look like?
No. Go ahead, tell us.
Oh.
Like,
Oh, so Go America is one of the Geis Offshore fleet members. Now, they have not done any work for SpaceX. We did have one that Go Pursuit. They did some early work with SpaceX and then they moved on back into the Geis Offshore fleet. But Go America is a visitor and they do offshore work. Sometimes they work with buoys. So working with NOAA and making sure the buoys are secure. Other times they might do artificial reefs and things like that.
yep.
And because Geis Offshore already pays dock fees in Port Canaveral, that makes it a convenient place for other Go ships to come and stay a night or two in between their jobs. So that's what we saw over by Rusty's, and that's the secondary dock that SpaceX rents. And the view you guys got is what Go Searcher, Go Quest, and Go Navigator used to look like before SpaceX took them under their wings and modified them. If these ships were to go out of SpaceX's contract, then actually SpaceX will have to take all their equipment down and strip it back down to what you saw on Go America.
So the ship is like a platform, and then you install your special hardware or whatever you need. Like on the capsule recovery ships, they install the helipad and that sort of stuff, all the processing equipment for the Dragon capsules. And then on these, they
Yeah.
install the fairing catcher nets and those big wacky looking arms and that sort of stuff. So that's all SpaceX modifications to the ship, which is it's sort of like a platform, and the ship can do lots of different things, right?
That's right. So yeah, even like you said, even those swing arms on the end, there's a big difference between that swing arm to pick up cargo and Crew Dragon than there is on the one on Go America. The one on Go America is a lot smaller. It has to deal with things like buoys and reef placement, but not something as large as a Dragon.
Gotcha. So let's see. I'm
So
gonna keep
that's a
looking.
little bit about them.
Yeah. So this let's go over this one again, Julia, because there's some things that I can zoom in on. This was a question from the Skyther mod saying, "Are they tugging the drone ship or is it self-propelled?" So talk a little bit about the different phases of the movement of the drone ship.
Okay, so I see you've got a nice shot there on the thruster. So there's 4 thrusters on, of course, I Still Love You, one at each corner. These are the thrusters that used to be on both of the drone ships until they brought, just read the instructions over, along with those massive 3K horsepower each. What are those? Those are electric over diesel, correct,
Yeah.
Dust?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're electric diesel, like diesel electric generators generate electrical power that turn the actual thrusters, the propellers on the bottom of it. And there, I've just zoomed in on one of them. It's actually up out of the water right now. The blue component there, when it's out at sea, station keeping, that actually goes 90 degrees and dips down into the water, right, Julia?
That is correct. So that won't dip into the water until about 2 hours before a booster is scheduled to launch and then land on their deck. The tug that brought them out there will actually unchain and they will put some crew on board just to make sure the deck is clear, because that is what is safe for the Merlin engines as they land, right?
Yep.
And then the crew will go back on to Go Quest. They will go about 3 nautical miles away and they will watch that booster land. And it's probably a beautiful view out there in the ocean. And then they have to wait for the booster to be safe, so any propellant to be burned off. They'll do the same thing in reverse then. They're just going to join up with Go Quest. They're going to board. They're going to deploy Octograbber, and then they're going to chain up and come home. So until the crew chains up, yeah, that's the only time they're really using those thrusters. But they play an important role in station keeping, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When they deploy those things, they can station. I don't know on this specific vessel how accurately they can
You're-
station keep, but that's sort of the fine control, I guess. Not, oh, I need to move hundreds of miles. This is the I need to stay right here so a rocket can land on me.
So, yeah, and you know what? You told me a nifty fact I would love for you to share with the viewers if you haven't already. Tell me about those large thrusters and just how accurately they can keep something as big as like an oil platform, like an oil rig, right? Because
Oh
hasn't
yeah.
Elon mentioned oil rigs in the future? So do you see something like those large thrusters on board something like that?
I don't know for a rig. Usually when we say rig, it's something that's fixed to the floor or fixed to the ocean floor, but they can use those thrusters on ships. And
Okay.
it's interesting. Tesla, right, electric cars, et cetera, et cetera. Those thrusters are actually station keeping technology from offshore oil drilling ships. And they have ships that actually have drilling rigs on them, and they'll float the ship out, and then they'll drop those station keeping thrusters. And the station keeping thrusters are powerful and accurate enough that they can actually drop a drill boom down into the water and drill for oil under the surface of the sea while the thrusters keep the ship in position. So think about it. If you float too far out, you'll pop the drilling arm off, right? And the
Yeah.
thrusters can keep the big ships that are a lot bigger than these barges. It can keep those ships within some amount of accuracy, right? It depends on the ship and the thrusters and that sort of stuff. But they don't waver off a kilometer. They can stay within tens of meters of a specific position using those thrusters. So one of those things,
That's
it's
really
almost like
crazy.
a swords to plowshare thing, right? Where it's, oh, dirty oil offshore drilling, who likes that? And we've taken that and now we're using that same technology to land rockets here, right? Land reusable rockets.
Exactly.
So the interesting thing about the thrusters is that those are actually diesel electric. So they're electric thrusters, and they have these big diesel engines on the deck of the drone ship that have generators in them. And they'll burn fuel to create electricity, and they use the electricity to drive the thrusters down there. But they come in sort of like a package. You put the shipping container that has the generation of the control hardware on the deck, and then you put the thrusters mounted on the sides. This is four corners, right? And then all of a sudden you go from this is just a dumb barge to a barge that can station keep. Again, I don't want to say, oh, it's within 5 meters or whatever, because I don't know the specifications for the drone ships specifically, you know?
Right. Which is why the booster, as it's coming down, communicates with the drone ship so that they are in constant communication and can decide whether or not it's even safe to land, right?
Yep, absolutely. We've seen that one booster actually wave off. Do y'all remember which one that was? Elon said, "Oh,
Oh.
the conditions were rough, and so the booster decided, the flight software decided to wave off instead of attempt the landing." I don't remember which launch that was. I don't know if
Oh,
Chris or somebody
quick,
know.
Chris, bring up the spreadsheet.
What was the question? Sorry, I was reading
Can
something
you
else.
can you remember which booster it was that had an unsuccessful landing? It aborted at the last moment before landing. It's one of our destroyed boosters in the list.
One of the destroyed ones from earlier this year. Yeah, that would have been the March Starlink mission. Hang on.
Oh, there it is. Yep. And you watched it on the live stream. It was just off camera, but you could see the light from the booster, and then it landed. And that was the one that they didn't bring it back. We got an empty drone ship coming home, which means it got destroyed at sea. So they made sure they hung out there long enough to make sure that it was safely sunk, and we never saw it again.
Gotcha. Every now and then it's boop, you hear the tugs going off. Boop.
Yeah, they're still just kind of hanging out there. Finfalget's still hanging out to the north, just watching over everything, waiting for the fine tuning so they can dock and call themselves home too.
Yeah, and look, they're still moving the booster around. Like if you look at the structure of the big port cranes behind it, they're still finalizing the position. They're scooting it back and forth.
Yeah, like I feel like it's closer to those big cargo cranes than it normally is right now
Yeah.
in its placement. And by the way, those were like inspiration for AT-ATs in Star Wars, just saying. And if you see those in the background and you think you're seeing AT-ATs, you kind of are. But yeah, I feel like this booster is a lot closer to those cargo cranes than it normally is. And y'all, that might be for a reason. We still have to make room for just read the instructions, who should be back in the morning, although empty. Perhaps they're just going to park it to the. No, wait, no. No, hold on. I'm trying to remember where I saw the other little dock plate, and that was over by where Navigator and Searcher are right now. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have a good explanation because Navigator and Searcher are going to have to move in order for just read the instructions to dock.
And to get the booster off of the barge, they use that big gray crane, like the single structure crane that has the white boom with the red and white on the end of it. That's what they use to lift the booster off. So it has to be a certain distance away from that crane to actually lift it off, right?
Right, right. Because yeah, that crane arm, they can't extend and retract the arm itself. But here's the thing, Daz. What they can do is they can actually move that crane. That crane itself is on tracks and can move all the way up and down North Cargo Pier 6.
Ah,
So
okay.
honestly, if they misdocked a little bit, the crane can reposition.
Okay.
If it had to.
That's not
And
a
maybe that'll
fixed
happen.
position. Gotcha.
No. That was one of the big investments that Port Canaveral made in the spaceport with SpaceX being here, and then you've also got the New Glenn, whatever in the world they're going to call their recovery ship, will eventually be a part of here.
Yep.
In Port Canaveral, and they will also have that crane available for them to use as well.
There we go. I'm getting a zoom in on the track system or whatever that they use for
Yeah,
the
she's a
crane.
big one. She's
You can actually,
impressive.
there's a couple of people there with hard hats on. If you see the two cones at the top of the ladder, just for a sense of scale for how big all
Oh.
this stuff is, you see the two people there standing.
Oh my gosh, they're just barely the same height as like the wheelbase. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then when you sort of zoom out and get a context for how big all this stuff is, like, wow.
That's crazy. Now I don't know why they're fussing so much with how they're placing it.
They're giving us a show. They know we're watching, so they're giving us some cool
That's
stuff to
right.
look at and talk about. Whoa, whoa, too fast. Sorry, y'all.
Whoa. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I don't think they'll really have to do much with just read the instructions. That won't be a very ceremonious, entry into port. It's just going to have its escorts. They'll just park it. And then I guess we're just all waiting to see exactly what's going to happen when GPS 3 is going to happen. We're waiting for a Delta. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the fleet's going to have a moment of rest for a little bit.
Good. They deserve it after being out at sea trying to do the double catch, two boosters out there at the same time. Didn't happen because of the scrub, but we got one home here.
It made for some fun tracking and spaghetti models.
There you go.
Yeah, something like that. And there were a couple times when I was trying to do tweets, y'all. I apologize. I got names confused. I got who was with what, which tug was with which ASDS confused. So I apologize. That was a dry run. First time they were really both active at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. All good. It's all good. There's a lot going on. It's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, not a problem I thought we'd have like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So now let's see. The next will they or won't they question about this return is, will they fold the legs up on the deck of Course I Still Love You and then crane it down, or will they move it over to the stand? Because when they did the new Octograbber for Just Read the Instructions, they surprised us. They put some upgrades on the Octograbber that we're seeing right now. So they both can do the same tricks.
Can we see? Let's see here. There's the stand that they put it on. Let me see if I can pick that out. I don't know if the one tug is in the way or not there. Let's see.
No, you should be able to pick it out. It is to the north, so to the right on the dock on your view. It should be there. Kind of underneath the boom of the crane.
Yeah, let's see here. That's going to be further to the right then.
Yeah, you want to go more right, like actually past the stern of keep going.
Yeah, not in there.
There you go. You're almost to there it is. You got it. It looks no, wait.
Those are some cranes in the background. Those are container cranes. I think it may be behind the one tug right now.
Go left a little bit for me. I have a limited
Right
view
there,
on my
Nas. Go
phone.
left. You had it. Go left.
You had it. You had it,
Go
Das.
left. Go left.
I promise you.
Let's see here.
I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's right there at
No.
the edge of the containers.
Yeah.
That's
There
it.
you go.
Right
See, it's
there.
a lot shorter than you think it would be, but that's it.
Yeah. So what we're talking about,
Part of that's hidden.
you see the ladders there. There's blue containers in the foreground, and there's those ladders that are sort of sitting up against the side of the structure. That structure is actually the fixed structure that they'll take the booster off the drone ship and then swing it over and stack it onto that structure. So at some point, we'll have a fantastic view of that right there, them moving the the booster over that way. We don't think that that's going to happen tonight. We think that that fly is mostly likely going to happen tomorrow, right?
It depends. So here's
Okay.
the thing: those technicians that were riding on, well, some of them were out on mission with the drone ship. Others came out on the tug and boarded, right?
Yep.
So those are the technicians that generally also do the processing of the booster in port, and they may just give them the weekend off, and we might not even see movement until Monday. But the cool thing is, I don't have to keep checking in port anymore to see if there's action because we have the Fleetcam to tell me what's going on. So the absolute earliest they start work is 7 a.m. Tomorrow is a Friday. Oh, wait, it is a Friday. I forgot. We didn't come. Wait, today's Thursday.
Today is
Wow.
Thursday.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sorry.
so.
We might see that tomorrow morning. It is a Friday. So they may try and see if they can process that before the weekend then. Yeah. Wow.
Excellent.
This quick return kind of threw me off, y'all.
We were
So
thinking it was
yeah,
going to
the
be Friday or
question really
Saturday.
is, yeah, right. So the question is, will they use the stand or will they just fold it up on Of Course I Still Love You, which is a faster process? If you eliminate
Ah,
swinging it over and Octograbber literally just keeps holding on at those clamp down points that they use at the launch pad. If
gotcha.
the legs are behaving, they can fold them up right where we see it sitting right now. And then they bring in that other small crane, the mobile crane, and they'll swing it right onto the transporter and out of here.
Gotcha. So they don't have to use that other stand there. They may be able to do a faster process, right?
Right. So that's the new tricks with when they built the Octograbber 2.0 for just read the instructions. That's the new trick that it can perform and that they also upgraded onto the original Octograbber.
Gotcha. All right.
It's a really nifty time-saving tip.
So Julia, I gotta ask, where are you hanging out right now? Are you over on the side? Are you sitting at a table somewhere? Like, what are you up to?
We are literally hanging out on the grass right across from the booster, in
Nice.
between the restaurants, just taking in the really nice night. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Y'all, one more time, I'm going to say it again. We're able to install this camera over here. This is actually a remote operated camera that will be there even when there are no NASA spaceflight crew members on location. It's Rusty's Seafood and Oyster Bar right there at Port Canaveral, who we've been working with them for months to get this happening. And this is the first booster return that has occurred since we brought the camera online about 2 weeks ago, actually installed it there. But if you're out at Port Canaveral, if you end up over that way, and you want a cool place to hang out and grab something to eat or whatever, they actually have a deck that's down below the camera here, and you can sit and you can watch boosters come in. You can watch fairing ships go around. You can watch Dragon capsule recovery vessels. If you're interested in that sort of stuff, you're down for a launch or something, you want to swing by the port, Rusty's is a fantastic place to sit outside when it's nice and cool. It's hot sometimes, but it's a fantastic place to sit outside and watch all of these going ons, isn't it, Julia?
Oh my goodness, yes. And let me tell y'all, if you're not from Florida, which I am not, by the way, you got to try NASA Nerd, our photographer Nate. You got to try his favorite dish, and it's the gator taco. It will
Wait,
not
what?
disappoint.
Gator tacos?
A gator taco. It is fried gator meat
Oh,
in a
yes.
tortilla. Oh my goodness. Mm.
Is that for real? Like, what does it taste like? Chicken, or does gator taste like
Well, it
anything? I've
tastes
never
a
eaten
lot
it.
like chicken. Yeah.
It does, yeah. It's the joke is real.
We'll have to
The
do
joke is real.
we'll have to do like a NASA spaceflight hangout stream, Chris, where after a launch or event or something, we all go and sit on the deck at Rusty's and we'll all try gator tacos or something.
Ooh, boy,
We have
that,
to do
that,
that.
that Q&A would get interesting the more beer that we're consuming.
But again, y'all, it's Rusty's that has allowed us to install this camera here. Camera has a dedicated internet connection. It is its own thing over there. It's ready to bring us live views of what's happening whenever there's fleet coverage. We've been talking. We'll probably do some testing with it where we have it up for members. And even if we're not here hosting a stream, we may actually leave the stream live so that members of the YouTube channel can see it. And that is something we're still talking about. We're not planning on making it a 24/7 camera right now, but we'll do some ground truth with the members and see what it's like. There's a lot more than just bringing the camera online and, it's got to get powered and internet, just leave it on 24/7. Like, how do you maintain it? Who controls what it points at? All these different things. So
Who watches the comments and makes sure y'all don't have questions? Those things.
yeah, all that sort of stuff. So
But you know what I
Nice.
can do, even if we're not streaming 24/7?
Yep.
And what I'm excited about, I can do screenshots. So I can pan around and see what's going on. And even if it's not big enough for a live stream, I can do screenshots and bring you guys some news from port that way too. So I'm
Yeah.
excited just to even be able to bring you guys some different Twitter content.
And Julia, you live there. You're around port all the time, but you can keep even closer tabs on what's happening with the fleet and the operations there because wherever you are, when I was down there, I set Julia up so she can actually access the camera from her phone and she can use it to look around the port and see, oh yeah, the ferry catcher ships are back there, or one of them just went out, or whatever. So all different bits of information. It's cool to have ways to see what's going on. Let's put it that way.
So I have a confession to make, y'all. When I was saying that, they went out to do some Dragon capsule, practice,
Yep.
I knew that because I saw them leaving on the stream and they left with the capsule, and we knew that there was a lot of cars over by the dock, which meant that SpaceXers or recovery team members that were training for Dragon were on that boat. So, little secret, that's how I knew what to tell y'all was going on when they were offshore the other day. But
And
I
we've
couldn't
been,
tell you
oh, jeez,
because, yeah, I couldn't
biting our
reveal it quite
tongues.
yet.
We wanted to wait until the booster came back, y'all, so that we could do a sort of big celebration that we've got this expansion of our coverage capabilities online. And we've been sitting, it's like, oh, this is happening. Oh, so many screenshots and so many little clips and stuff that we've recorded without having the actual camera publicly available. The NASA Spaceflight crew will still have access to the camera, so we can keep y'all apprised as to what's going on.
That's very exciting. And I
Yeah.
hope, I unfortunately, as we're moving around and we're sitting on Discord, we're not tuned into the stream and seeing your comments. So I really hope you guys had fun when we were waving to y'all and showing you.
Absolutely. I'm going to run through some super chats really quickly because some super chats have been waiting in the queue. We're able to do this sort of stuff because of y'all's support, and we actually paid for the camera and a bunch of the gear here with super chat money, actually. So when we say we're reinvesting your support back into the stream to bring y'all even more types of coverage, we're not just pulling your leg. We're not going out and buying, I don't know, steaks and beers or whatever every night. We're buying cameras. I like cameras. So this username is interesting. E with a bunch of numbers. Canadian $5 saying, NASA Spaceflight, do you think we ever get to a rocket that sits on its own legs at launch and then pulls them in for launch and back out for landing? So this is a question about, I guess, reusable rockets. Instead of having the launch pad or structure, would you ever expect to see a rocket that left its legs deployed for takeoff? I think we'd have to try and figure out what we got from that. Like, does it really gain us anything? You're always going to have ground infrastructure where you've got hoses that fuel the rocket, the umbilicals and that sort of stuff. So you have to have some amount of pad infrastructure there. You'd also get a little bit more drag off the ground or off the gate. Go ahead, Chris. What do you think?
Aren't Starship's landing legs permanent? Like, they don't fold back up, but
Yeah,
they
that's a
don't
good
deploy
point.
either. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, when you have rockets that do not deploy their landing legs after, they're just automatically built and they don't retract back up. So that would be super heavy.
Yeah, that's right. Because super heavy, the booster part itself, it's not going to use those legs for structure when it takes off. Or do we even know that? We know there's a big launch mount for it, but
We don't believe it. We don't believe it's sitting on them. No, it'll still be on its launch mount. But
yeah, interesting. I do know that once we get like a lunar starship flying, the lunar starship will have to land on its own legs and then take off again on its own legs from the surface
for the Mars
of the moon.
versions of them. Same for Earth point to point. Yeah, I mean, the answer is Starship.
Yeah, so when Starship actually starts flying, that may be the first thing you see that operates that way. I'm going to call you E. I'll just call your name E, but that's a great question. Thank you for the super chat, and thanks for asking the cool question there. Harry Young said, Xbox remote, here's to the late night coding coffee fund for Michael, or, whatever you guys need money for. Harry, thank you so much for the support and the trust there. You know that I say a lot of the times when people do super chat, I take it as a vote of confidence that we're not just going to go out and blow that money on stuff. We're actually going to turn that back around into cool things for y'all, do new different ways that we can cover and bring y'all content. So, or whatever you guys need it for. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you, Harry. Thank you so much for the €5 there. Michael Scheimer. Julia, you'll know about this one. Michael Scheimer says the best SpaceX swag is at the Sands History Museum on the other side of the port, right next to SpaceX launch and landing control building. Talk about Sands History Center real quick, Julia.
Well, let me tell you, Michael, you may see me there someday. I'm actually a docent at the Sand Space History Center. So the foundation runs it, but it is actually mostly operated by volunteers, both in the gift shop and the docents. Some of our docents have actually worked out on Cape during the early program and during the shuttle years. So there's a lot to learn from the folks that I volunteer with. And he is right. We actually have people from SpaceX who, folks who work out for the 45th Space Wing, who come off base and drive over to the Sand Space History Center to get their souvenirs, their patches, their t-shirts, because it is one of the few places that is authorized to sell SpaceX swag that is actually licensed, that is not at the Visitors Center. So when you're buying a patch there or a coin, those are actually the real deal. And occasionally you can even buy some of the patches designed by the folks on base at some of the various squadrons. And those are unique. A lot of the NROL patches that you see get designed by people from the 30th Squadron over at Vandenberg, or the, what is that, the 45th, the RAND Squadron over here at Cape. So Michael is not wrong. Don't just come there though to get your swag. Learn a little bit about how we got to where we are now.
Yeah, they have like a little museum with some artifacts and stuff like that, don't they?
Yeah, so we do. We have oh gosh, we have a Delta first stage. We've got the engine, not the whole thing, but we do have one of the engines from a Delta. We have one of the capsules that was used during the Apollo. Actually, this one wasn't Apollo. This one was Mercury. So Alan Shepard. So you get a idea of the size of what that capsule was. And let me tell you, Dragon is roomy compared to that. I can barely squeeze into this capsule. But we do have one of those that is much like the Dragon capsules we see on the deck of the recovery ships, and it would have been used for very much the same purpose, learning how to stack on the pad and learning how to get it out of the ocean. So you see things like that. You learn a little bit about each of the launch pads. They'll give you a history of what used to launch there and what is currently launching there. So when you look at launch pads on live streams, you see a little bit of what used to be there, and you can learn a little bit about, you know, the Titan program that launched many rockets from over at 40.
Gotcha. So again, the Sands History Museum on the other side of the port is definitely a place to check out if you make it down there. So this is your thing, right? You want to come, you want to see a launch, no scrubs. You want to see a booster come back into port. You can go and get a gator taco from Rusty's, and you can go over to the Sands History Center. How's that sound?
That sounds like a plan to me.
Mostly just go into Rusty's and say, "Oh, we came here because of NASA spaceflight." Like if you do one thing, just do that. All right, just go to Rusty's and tell them that you came there because of NASA spaceflight. Like I'm not even kidding you. I'm gonna grab some more super chats and memberships here. Steve Fleetwood, we appreciate you. Welcome to the club. We've also got Don Clay as well. That's another new membership. Welcome, Don Clay. And I apologize, I missed what level those were at. But I appreciate y'all hopping in there. Roger Clark, look at this. Roger Clark did a $50 super chat. Roger says, love the new view.
Oh my gosh, Roger, thank you.
Yeah, a couple more of those and we'll have the camera paid for in the first live stream, Chris. Does that mean I can buy another one?
Oh,
I got ideas about where.
Remember, Doss, you were the one that preemptively told me to never let you loose in a store with a credit card. So that
I think it was technically Home Depot. I was like, I'm gonna get this camera installed.
True.
But normally I have to be supervised when I go into Home Depot. My wife will tell you it's not safe to let me into Home Depot unsupervised. But we got the camera installed. It's nice.
No, but we did.
Roger Clark, thank you so much for the $50
Yeah.
there. Loving the new view. We're glad that you love it, and we are able to bring you coverage like this because of support like yours. So thank you so much for that. Dave R is a new membership as well. Dave, thank you so much for the support. Welcome to the team. We've got Chad Krotz, who says Steak and Beer Fund, $4.99 for Steak and Beer Fund. We appreciate you there, Chad.
Yum. I like steak, so I'm all over that.
I agree. Here's a question from Jack Vacara and Julia. You can get this one. Will there be a third drone ship? We know there are 2 ships that rockets can land on. Has Elon given us anything official about that third drone ship? He has, hasn't he?
Well, he's just been a tease about this third drone ship. Now y'all gonna get me started again. It's he reminded us yet again that there is a drone ship named a shortfall of gravitas, right? Yeah, ASOG. I don't know where it is. I don't know what it looks like. I have tried. I have looked at shipyards. I have asked people to look at satellite images. Honestly, at this point, y'all, I don't even know what I'm looking for. Okay. I don't know if it looks like what's in front of us right now or not. I don't know. Did they take a New Glenn, recovery ship sort of turn? I don't know. But yes, Elon has confirmed ASOG, or a shortfall of gravitas, is a thing. And judging by what? How many does he want to launch next year? What was the number?
All of
48?
them. No,
Okay,
Elon.
so if we want to
very
launch,
close to that, yeah.
yeah, so if we want to launch 48, 2 drone ships out at sea isn't going to do it. We're going to see, like, if this third one is, basically ready to go when it comes to Port Canaveral, if that's where it's going. Maybe we've got a great relationship up in Morehead City. Who knows? I'm really speculating here, y'all. They use Morehead City an awful lot. What if we put another drone ship up there awful close to the Starlink landing zone, and you could run a drone ship over to Morehead City and then truck it down?
The tug's pulling out. Sorry.
Yeah,
Julia.
Elizabeth S is backing off there, Julia.
Yay! Yes, actually both of them are backing off at the same time.
Aha.
It's a dance, so they must be fully tied to the dock now. Because I bet you're going to see these 2 back off, and then you're going to see, Finn Falgott's like very slowly creeping in from the north.
Yeah, we'll go way wide here so we can see these ships.
They're spinning, so they're going to go over to their north dock, kind of by where we sometimes see Navigator and Searcher, but where the sisters are right now, right in between that area.
Yep. And
Can
y'all
hear
will see the, like, when I move the camera around, I'm still a little bit trying to figure out, but when I frame the shots, I try to put as little water in it as possible, because that water is basically noise, and having the live stream encoder encode just waves means we don't have as much bandwidth to give us a nice crisp shot on the boats and the booster and that sort of stuff. So every now and then you'll see me sort of dialing it in, and a lot of the times I'm going to try to minimize the amount of water. The reflections are nice, but those waves just kill the bandwidth. It takes a lot of bandwidth to encode those waves.
And then you can see Eagle's about to do their thing too. They like going in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Eagle passing in front right now?
Yeah, that's Eagle. They're just gonna be little show offs, and they're just gonna go in reverse. They might do a little spin, but yeah.
Yeah. There they go. Oh,
Yeah.
Julia. And look in the background now that the tugs have cleared out. Look what's in the background there. That is one of the Dragon recovery ships. You can see right in the back of it.
I can see actually, and I can also see the stern of the other one right behind it. Yep.
Does that have a Dragon capsule on it right now? Can you tell? Wait, who am I asking?
They should.
Can I tell? Hang on. I've got.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it on the one that's farther. Yeah, I can see it with my naked eye. If you zoom in, it's kind of hard to pick out at night because
I think it's yeah. It's right there
Yeah,
in the center.
you can see it. Yeah. It kind of blends into the medical bay that's right behind it. But if you look by the swing arm support where the hydraulics are,
Yep.
it follows that line.
There you go. I contrasted it down so you can actually see the.
There you go.
That's a like
There
a
she is.
test Dragon capsule, right? That's a training capsule or something.
You bet. That's a training capsule. So actual size. Learning how to scoop it out. So if you ever want to be a dragon rider, you got to go offshore with them and you got to learn how to hitch that up onto, um, but I know when we saw them hook up Crew Dragon Endeavor
Yep.
out offshore in Pensacola, did y'all see the guy literally riding Dragon? You got to
Yeah.
hook it on there somehow. So that could be one of the things they were doing when they were offshore is training the people on how to be efficient and get the crew hooked up and reeled in as fast as they can so they can check and make sure it's safe for them to get out. So
Look at that. Right in the middle of the shot, you can actually see the shroud for the thrusters. Isn't that what that is? I'm looking at the other one now, but somebody in chat, I know y'all are just looking at it on a mobile device, Julia, so it might be sort of hard. But somebody on the
Yeah.
NASA spaceflight team, Chris, is that what we're seeing there? I think so.
Where am I looking?
Either that or that is the it's like an egress door. So I don't think any of their test capsules that go on these recovery ships are fully operational, like can open a door so
Yeah.
much, but for having orientation in the water to make sure once it lands that the door is more, facing up, shall we say, as it's bobbing. They do
Yeah.
have one that's a higher fidelity, and I think you're looking at it, which actually would be the door.
Hang on. Suichi Noguchi tweeted a photo of their water egress training.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
A
pull
while
up
ago.
that
Let me
photo.
go find it because, yeah, I mean, because this is what they use, and when you drive into Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, you pass
Hey,
the Go
person for
Navigator and Go
scale.
Searchers.
Oh yeah. There's somebody walking around right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So actually, you guys, that person for scale gives us an idea. I really think that is a mock-up door.
Yeah, interesting. As I saw it there, and it sort of looked like one of the housings for the thrusters or something like that. But that's cool that we can see that all the way over there. Again, that's a training piece of equipment, I guess. It's not really a boilerplate. It's like a training device, and they take those out and they'll actually dunk the capsule into the water, and then they practice the fast boats and they practice hooking up to the capsule. Like they use these two ships to train. It's like practice how you play, right?
Exactly.
And both of those are sitting right there next to what we're looking at with the booster. What else can we see, Julie? What else should I look at while we're looking at all this stuff? That's really
Well,
cool.
So you can see behind there, Ms. Tree and Miss Chief. So we knew Miss Tree had the net up earlier.
Oh
So
yeah.
that must be Miss Chief in the front there. And that is our farthest view on our presets. That is North Cargo, or I'm sorry, that is actually just the North Pier is what we're calling it right now. That's the spaceport pier that the Canaveral Port Authority has invested in spaceflight and recovery. And they just finished pouring a whole new pier over there. And that pier will be dedicated to ships like these. And the tugs that you see in the foreground, which is where Christine and Eagle and Elizabeth are docked, they will actually have a new pier themselves, and they'll probably be a cross port from where they currently are located, so that perhaps that will be another spot where I don't know, ASOG could end up docking.
Yeah, maybe
That's
so.
actually wide enough for a drone ship over there where you see the tugs.
So
Julia,
I went
go ahead,
and looked at the Twitter feeds, and it was actually Ben Cooper's feed that I was remembering, not Suichi's, although he probably retweeted it. But they weren't using a dragon mock-up in any of the photos that were posted. They were using rafts and everything in the water, but that's what I was thinking about.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we have almost the entire SpaceX fleet in port right now. We're just missing the other drone ship, aren't we?
We're missing
And
the other drone ship. We're
unannounced
missing
ships.
Go Quest, so the heart of the fleet that runs crew back and forth.
Ah,
Aha. So that means if Go Quest was up there, that means some of the technicians probably stayed in Morehead City, and the only technicians would have been on Finfalget. In case, because you got to keep somebody from SpaceX there, even though there's cameras on the drone ship, right? You got to keep somebody around just in case things are looking a little shaky to give someone at Hawthorne a visual confirmation of what they're seeing on deck. So some of the SpaceX crew probably rode along on Finfalget to come back, and it looks like they're just going to keep Go Quest up in the north at Morehead City until GPS launches. So.
gotcha. And y'all, one
So
thing I have noticed here, I know whenever I move the camera around, it actually goes blurry and then it re-autofocuses and stuff like that. Right now, we're running a lot of that stuff in a full auto mode, so that it's just how many hands do you have to manage all this stuff, right? And
right.
so we are working on some tech so that when we move the camera around, we can run it in a manual mode, and you're not constantly getting all these. Oh, it goes blurry. What happened? That is the camera actually auto adjusting it, because I've only got so many hands, and I'm controlling it from Charlotte, North Carolina right now. I'm controlling it from my house in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that in and of itself is just the coolest thing to me.
So das, you know what I'm seeing? And it's like where we're sitting on the grass right now, we are almost at the same level as the deck of the booster, at least from our perspective.
Yep.
And I can see a green light on Octograbber. I'm wondering if you can see the green light, which I'm thinking is on Octograbber from my
Let's
point of
see
view.
here.
And it would be on what would be your left-hand side of the booster.
Okay. I do see a green light. I can clearly see
Yeah,
a
so
green
that's one of
light.
the operational lights on Octograbber. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's the opposite corner of where I thought it was, but yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
absolutely
So
see
actually,
what you're
it's a
talking
great
about.
view of Octa right there.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. And if you look hard enough, you'll see GoPros on there. And those GoPros are used to make sure that they're clearing the Merlin engines.
Aha. No kidding. I
No
like
kidding. So you
I
got to
like
clear the
cameras. I
Merlin
like cameras.
engines to get that. So remember the time the crush core was totally spent a few launches back and we had the old school jack and chains again and they couldn't use Octograbber? You know
Yep.
why they couldn't use Octograbber? Because they couldn't get it under there. The crush core made it so low that even to get the jacks and stands in there, you know what they had to do? They
Tell
had
me they
to they had to strap all the Merlin engines together to move them out of
just
the way.
strap them together like they had to gimbal them some to get a little bit more clearance
Yeah.
or something, or what? Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
when I look back in my pictures, you'll actually see like cargo straps kind of
Yep.
around the Merlin engines, and they're all like stuck together underneath there, all nice and cozy with like cargo straps.
No
And that-
kidding.
in order to get jacks and chains under there, you need a little bit more clearance than you have with Octograbber to secure it. So, yeah, kind of crazy. So Octograbber gives them a little bit more room, but you still have to watch the clearance because you don't want to ding the Merlins. And
Gotcha.
who
And y'all,
wants to be the person who knocks a booster over with a robotic like grabber anyways, right?
that brings up a couple cool things here. Number one, the person I'm talking to, that's actually Julia Bergeron, our resident fleet expert with NASA Spaceflight. She actually lives down there, and she is nearby right now. This is our remote operated camera, but she's sitting right over there at port talking about what we're looking at. And Julia, this is sort of the first time we've been able to do this long of a stream, right?
Right? And let me tell you, it's really kind of nice. I mean, I didn't bring my good camera, but it's really nice not having to manage streaming gear. We can focus on just chatting because you're doing all the moving. And
It,
thank you for that.
It really is. I mean, it's just so cool that back here, like if I read somebody in chat who asks a question, I don't even have to say it out loud. I can just point the camera at whatever I want sitting at home in Charlotte. So it is fantastic that we've been able to put together this remote operated camera to help bring some of these cool video coverage to YouTube over here with NASA Spaceflight and the Twitch channel. I don't forget about y'all over on Twitch. And that sort of rolls me into another question here. You said that they drive Octograbber. Who drives Octograbber? Where are they at when they actually drive that thing around?
Well, well, I don't think it's ever truly been confirmed. So, okay, what you're seeing, do you guys see the little yellow bumper things that are protecting a cord, like right in front of Octograbber right
Yes,
now?
down underneath the
Okay,
green
that's
light
its
at the
leash.
bottom of the white bar.
Okay, so that is Octograbber's cable run. So it's not, it still has to be connected to something, right? So that's its cable run. It has the ability to be remotely controlled. So
Right.
that remote control still needs visual verification on deck by humans, which is why they board. But
Gotcha.
I do believe, just like every other aspect of course, I still love you, and even like the sisters, Gomez Tree and Gomez Chief, can be probably controlled as far away as Hawthorne, California.
So it's not like there's a seat on there and somebody hops on Octograbber and drives it around. There may be a controller on the ship that can use it, but there may also be controllers other places where SpaceX can drive that thing from other spots, huh?
That is correct. So it's probably one of those things, just like us, you can do, from multiple places, but also could do, yep, right from on deck. Hey, Das, I
Yeah.
want you to take the camera wider, please, and
Okay.
and kind of go down the channel just a smidge, because Go America's moving over too. I mean, if
From
you want to see another ship in motion.
like out
So go,
jetty side?
yeah, go a little bit more toward Jetty, and you're gonna catch a bunch of lights about, ooh, wait, hold on.
I'm looking
Wait,
for
nope.
it.
No, go back left. Go back left. Probably at the corner of the pergola from the camera's view. You're gonna start seeing. Keep going.
Yeah, I need to.
Keep going.
Oh, there it is. I see some motion in the background there.
There you go. Follow those lights.
Follow the Julia.
I forget that this is a shorter ship, so it'll be a hot minute before you can see it. But you
I
can
wanna.
you can see
I
the
don't know if this
stern.
is gonna work, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I
Now we'll just wait till it comes into view, and I'll tell you. She's probably gonna dock where the sisters would normally dock, like they did this morning.
yeah, there's a really bright light there that's sort of blowing out. I can
Oh,
see the
Das.
Go logo. Go ahead.
Okay, go north again. Go north again. One of the recovery ships is starting to move.
Which way's north? Oh my gosh.
Go
We need more
left. Go
cameras.
left.
Go left.
Go left.
Oh yeah, look at that. All right.
There
Too
you
much.
go.
This web interface I'm using to control this thing is hilarious.
So that's where we're going to see, just read the instructions in the morning, because that's why the recovery ships are leaving. That's where the dock plate is for the other drone ship.
Ah,
So everybody's
focused.
going to go tuck in for the night, and I guess we can watch that.
There you go. And look, for scale again, there are two people standing on the back of that ship right now. Right hand side, you can see two people standing there, and they're a really clear picture of that Dragon capsule. Let me see if I can change the exposure just a
Oh
hair.
yeah. So
Bring
now
it.
when you say that, yeah, those look like thruster ports from here,
Don't they?
because there's more than one.
Let's see. I'm changing the exposure just a little bit to try and get some more detail in that light. God. I don't think I'm going to get the whole thing set up there, but that's pretty good right there. Just trying
Yeah,
to
that's pretty good.
see into the really bright lights underneath. And that right there, that may be a little bit too much. That right there is a Dragon capsule. And when they have crewed missions, when Crew 1 coming up, goes up to the ISS and then comes back down again, that is one of the boats that can potentially pick it up. And that is one of the training capsules that they practice with.
Uh-huh. Oh, have we got a treat for you? You
Now
know what? They're
what?
backing up toward you. So
Yeah,
what
they
we're
are.
seeing happen, Thomas is noticing this. I think Go America and the recovery ships are going to trade places, and the recovery ships are going to go dock over by Rusty's.
Ah,
Yeah, Thomas
I
is
mean,
right.
the ship is like
We're
backing up right now.
yeah, they are literally backing up toward you. Tonight is a show of skill about backing up, going in reverse.
But look at that. Look at that Dragon. That's again, that's not
Even
an
Americans do
actual
it.
flown Dragon capsule. That's a training thing, and they use that to actually practice recovering the dragons, don't they?
Yes, they do. And I see another. So I'm guessing the gentleman that we're seeing right now closest to the Dragon capsule is actually controlling the ship from the deck,
Like
because they do
driving
have
it
another
backwards.
location they can control. Yeah. So the human on the left, that would be your pilot right now, your captain.
No kidding. Really quickly, I missed this a couple minutes ago. Wildland Firefighter, 70 months over on my Twitch stream. Wildland, thank you so much for the ridiculous. I mean, you've been around since the beginning, and we've gone from my computer broke and chat gave me money to get a new motherboard so I could keep streaming Kerbal Space Program, all the way to looking at a training vessel for a space flight recovery operation, remote controlled camera. I don't even know how many hundreds of miles away I am right
Yeah.
now.
Yep, you're right. Isn't that nifty? How close she coming to you?
Yeah. Look, let's get a sense of scale here. So there's where we are.
Yep.
And they're shuffling all over the place. They got the booster in and now they're getting back to work, it looks like.
So this is the kind of thing that's kind of fun that we can do occasionally is, oh, hey, things moved and we can do like a little clip to show you all of, whatever dance just happened,
Yeah.
shuffling around. So Thomas has been keeping an eye on them. It looks like our guess is that the recovery ships will probably come over and Go America will probably stay over here with them. And that gives them all the room in the world to just have 2 ASDS and their tugs docked over there at North Cargo Pier 6 in the morning. And we've been spoiled, y'all, because right now Port's actually really quiet. We don't have the SpaceX schedule isn't dictated by cargo ships. It's not dictated by cruise ships. Oftentimes we're guessing, will it come in? Won't it come in? Do we have to wait for 3 cruise ships to go out? Do we have
Julia,
to
real
wait in the
quick,
morning for 3
look at
cruise
that
ships to
shot.
come in?
We've got the booster on the left-hand side back by the cranes, and then the Dragon capsule on the right-hand side. Look at that. That's cool.
That is a cool shot.
I'm like a kid in a candy store over here. I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh gosh, no. I love
Which-
hearing that.
Which
I feel
which
like I
of the
get to
ghost
bring
ships
you
is it?
all to port. I mean, how cool is that I can have all of you in port with me now?
Yeah. Julia, Chris was asking, do you know what's the name of this ship that we're seeing in front of us right now?
The ship we're seeing in front of, oh, wow, hi. They just popped on the lights for you and blinded me. And then they blinked them off.
Which one
Well,
is it?
I can look on my tracking and don't
It's
you see it?
Searcher.
Oh, yeah,
There,
that's
Chris.
Searcher.
I'll zoom
It's
in for you.
Searcher. Okay, it's
It's
Ghost
Searcher.
Searcher. No. I was just wondering if that was the same one that picked up Bob and Doug off Pensacola, because that's the booster that launched them. But
Oh.
no, it was Navigator that got them off
Yeah,
Pensacola,
yeah.
and Searcher
Well, maybe
was in
we'll get that
Jacksonville.
shot.
They're bringing the Dragon capsule right next to us right here.
Oh, you guys, that's like the coolest part about eating at Rusty's on the deck is literally when they are docked over there, you're looking right into the deck of these ships.
Pergola needs to be a little bit shorter, a little bit taller.
Oh, this is where it gets us.
No, we've been doing so well, and now the pergola is getting us. Does anybody have a saw? Sorry, Rusty's. Well, y'all, let me know what else is going on, because we may have a bit of a blocked shot here.
Yeah.
We should have
Yeah,
mounted
looks
the
like
camera.
they're gonna spin around.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. You know what I
Which
think
literally,
happened?
if we were sitting on the deck right now, we'd have a great view of just looking at a dragon while we were eating our dinner.
Yeah.
Like
No
that
lie.
guy taking a picture of it in the
Yeah,
bottom
there is
of our
actually
screen.
somebody in the
Oh,
lower
yeah.
right-hand corner taking pictures.
You guys should have seen. I don't know if you guys saw when I went to go take my selfie, people were running over to the edge of the deck to go take pictures. It was great. And then I do believe Thomas did some outreach too. So while y'all weren't hearing Thomas, he was actually explaining to some folks over there on deck what they were seeing and why it was cool.
Nice.
That's just, you know what happened? I think Julia got on the horn. She has a radio or something, and she radioed the captain of the ship and said, "Hey, could you back over this way so we can get a better shot of the Dragon capsule?"
I would never do such a thing. Don't put that past me ever, but I didn't tonight.
Yeah.
None of this had anything to do with. Oh, wait.
Wait, what? Yeah, Sachin.
No, none of this has anything to do with anything. No, no. We're good.
Gotcha. So is that a Dragon mock-up for retrieval practice? That's exactly what's on the back of that ship right now. They may scooch around far enough for us to see. Let me see if I can like ignore
Oh,
yeah,
come
look.
on.
Chris, how's that? Look. There we
Look
There
go.
you go.
at that. In the nest.
How close can we get to that thing?
Yeah,
Are
you're
those-
right. It
are
is
those
in
rivets?
the nest, and look at that. No dust, just like. Oh, you're
rivets.
killing me, boy.
What? What do you
Scooch
want to see?
out just a smidge from your lovely little shot so we can see the track that the nest rides on. Come on, we never get to see that. Scooch
The
out.
track that the nest rides on down at the bottom?
Yes.
There
like,
you go.
Scooch out a little more.
I got it.
One
I
more.
got it.
Right there. See
There's
it?
a track.
There's a track. Because the
Oh,
nest
that's
has to
cool.
be at the stern when they bring it up. And then it just glides back over to the medical bay.
No kidding.
And
didn't
now
even-
y'all have seen the track because without like the elevation we're at, I couldn't have never showed you guys that track.
Yeah. That is really cool. I had never, paid that much attention to it, but the line, that track that you see on the floor is actually one of the two tracks that the nest is sort of the cradle that the Dragon capsule sits in, right? And they roll that cradle out or they track that cradle out to the back, and they use the crane to pick it up and put it in the cradle, and then they pull it back up underneath the covered area with that rail system. I had never even thought about that. Here we go.
I taught you something new tonight.
Yeah, that's why I like
Yeah,
these
so if you
things.
go back to the DM2 recovery live stream, you'll actually see it move.
God, that's cool. They're backing up to pick up an order from Rusty's.
You never know. So the cool thing about these ships and kind of the negative about it is these crews are on 24/7. So if you think there's fishing poles going out, that'd be a negative. There's no fishing poles.
So they're on duty, you mean, right?
They're on duty. Yeah, just like you would be if you were out at sea on a rig, right? They're always on duty. So sure, they could step off, they could go have dinner, but you can't drink because you're on duty.
You're on duty, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of no fun that way. But the cool thing is everything they need is right on those ships because they used to be offshore supply rigs. So you've got a washer and dryer. You've got a big freezer and cooler. You've got a full galley, right? And you got a lot of fuel too. So
They're it's the ultimate contactless delivery. They're actually going to use the crane lifting system on the back of the ship to pick up their order from Rusty's.
oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, again, y'all, we're making all these like jokes and stuff like that. The restaurant that the camera is actually attached to. That's what it is now. Rusty's is the restaurant that the camera is attached to. We've been working with them for a couple months to install this camera there. We have permission from them. We got the camera installed. Camera has a dedicated internet connection, but this is a remote operated camera that will be there all the time. And it's one of our new NASA spaceflight assets. We can spool up coverage for thing like this. We could still be doing this live stream even if we didn't have anybody physically at the port. The camera would be remote operated. I'm controlling it from my studio up in North Carolina right now, and we could still bring in remote commentary and cover things like this, rain or shine, whatever the weather is. This is another cool asset that we've brought in to the thing. I hear Thomas
So,
back
yeah.
there too, Julia.
Oh yeah, Thomas is still sitting next to me. He's just taking it all in.
My phone's dead, so
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm
The
gonna,
only thing that saved my phone was the battery pack in my car. Yeah, as to say, if you zoom out just a smidge from there, you can see the view that our Rusty's guests get right now of that deck.
yeah, it's like right there, basically.
Oh yeah, it is. It is, and at the moment, I do not see Go Navigator, moving around, so they might stay over there for the night. Finn docked already. Yeah, I think we've just watched everybody find their
spot for the
tucked
night.
in for the night spots. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because honestly, if Navigator was going to move, she would have undocked by now. Yeah.
This Saber in Space says the special pickup instructions are: please place order in Dragon capsule and we'll hoist it back onto the deck.
I would love that kind of delivery service.
They drop the Dragon in the rudder right there next to Rusty's, and Rusty's staff puts the food into it, and then they pick it back up again. What? We're practicing recovery operations. This is serious spaceflight activities. Jeez. Oh, that's cool.
You know what is also kind of cool? What you're seeing right now in your view. Once upon a time, I don't think the recovery crew would leave the dock area until the yellow crane was hooked up with the cap. And that way then the port authority, the harbor master would have peace of mind knowing that that booster wasn't going to fall over, because all of this was new, right? Like, you're going to bring your what into our port, and how are we going to know that thing's not going to fall over with the wind? Because wind happens here and storms happen here. So how are, so kind of a level of trust had to be built. And once upon a time, when I first started watching these, that yellow crane that we used to see would hook up the old school cap to it, and then the workday would be done. But now
Ah,
Octograbber can hold on to it, and Port Authority and the harbor master apparently have decided that's good enough, and it can stay overnight. And it doesn't need a crane attached to it to do that now.
that's cool. That's some
Yeah.
people are saying they're having trouble picking out the booster. Like, where's the booster? It's the same color. Here, y'all. It's the thing that has the SpaceX logo on it. Let me show you. Let me show
Zoom
you where the
in.
booster is. There, do you see the SpaceX logo there? And it does. I'm on autofocus. I know, rookie moves, whatever. But there is the booster with the SpaceX logo on it. You can sort of pick it out from the rest of the port infrastructure there. And then if we go up, we should be able to see the grid fins up here still, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is nice cinematic. There's an American flag and a Falcon logo. There's some grid fins up at the top. Right
Ooh, that
there.
Falcon logo is getting rough.
Yeah, it is. Get all the zoom I have on the grid fins there.
That's still a good zoom.
Yeah, that's really. I'm not complaining about it, Julia. I'm really not
I
complaining
see
about
teeth. I mean, teeth are good. Wow, look at the one on the right.
it. Yeah.
That's pretty. Look at that.
All right, I'm having too much fun.
No, but seriously, that view you guys are seeing, where if you're driving in on 528 to come into Cape Canaveral in the Port Canaveral area, you come over the causeway and you crest the last little crest of the causeway going over the Banana River, right?
Yep.
I kid you not. You can see these two cargo cranes and the gray mobile crane and a booster. And it is the coolest thing to be driving toward port and be like, oh, yep, there's a booster in port. And it kind of blends in, and it's kind of a normal thing now to see. But it is so cool when you're driving in the morning to watch operations, and oh, yep, the booster's still there. It's upright. And I can see that from the road driving in.
God. I'm gonna go. Let's see here, all the way down to the bottom. And y'all, again, the way the control scheme I'm using right now, a lot of it's on auto. So when I actually move it, it goes unfocused a little bit sometimes. So I apologize for that. But there, a little bit lower, there is the actual bottom. Those are the landing legs, and can't get eyes on the Merlin engines, it doesn't look like, because we've got that leg
Yeah.
shroud blocking the shot there. But there's the rocket.
I find that
So
you
cool.
either get a really good shot of Octograbber, so you got a great angle on that right now,
Yep.
which means you usually don't get a good shot of the Merlins. It's
Of
like
the
a weird
Merlins.
trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not complaining, though. I'll tell you that much.
Neither am I.
We'll go back over
It
this
always
way.
amazes me how white, how well those legs protect
Oh.
that area on the booster.
Yeah, they
And
really do.
we've seen after what, five flights, that it starts kind of sort of seeping in there.
There we go. That looks like a good shot.
Yeah.
It really is. Denise Campbell over there saying this is just too freaking cool. Denise was actually thanking you earlier, Julia, for all the awesome explanations you're giving us. Learning so much, just literally being able to sit here and hang out with you. All the information that you've gleaned living there at port. I'm gonna just say living at port, right?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Ah,
And
that's
you're
just
so welcome, Denise. You're so welcome. It's my pleasure. I like sharing.
absolutely. And you're doing a fantastic job as well. Just everything, so much good information. I've even learned stuff, right? About the tracks and stuff like that. That's why we do this sort of stuff. It's not like, and here's the presentation about the fleet. It's literally just a bunch of space nerds hanging out, and something will come up, and every single stream we all learn something. So hopefully everybody watching,
Exactly.
yep, hopefully everybody watching back at home feels the same way. People all over the world able to share in this live I'm gonna say again, fantastic live view from Port Canaveral. I am super impressed with this camera.
So am I, Das. So am I.
This I'll tell the story real quick. This isn't the most expensive camera you can buy, right? This was just like, well, I don't know, this one doesn't cost that much. We'll buy it, and if it doesn't turn out, we haven't really spent that much money. I was actually going to send it back to Amazon. If it wasn't any good, I was going to send it back. Like, oh yeah, it doesn't fit our needs. But once we got it online and started looking around, it really is a fantastic image quality. Especially this is live streamed image quality, right? So this is not raw off of a photograph and you take the SD card out or anything like that. This is the camera doing the encoding and sending this stream up to the server so that we can add all the other graphics, the overlay and stuff like that. So let me see here. I want to look real quick. With all the super chats we've gotten, with another $75, the camera is completely paid for.
Holy cow.
Just the first stream back. And then we'll start paying for the internet and stuff like that. But I am quite happy with the camera so far. That's for sure.
Wow. I just want to thank the viewers. I know I probably missed a chance earlier to do that as we were, moving into position to say hello to y'all. And I just want to thank y'all for joining us. We do a lot of streams down in Boca Chica, and you get to visit Mary. So it's nice to bring my NSF friends along and get to visit with me occasionally and bring this part of it to y'all. And I really want to thank you for your support, and thank you all for your super chats and your memberships and just hanging out with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we may be able to do some more hangouts from port now that we have this camera in place,
Absolutely.
I
mean,
think
we
that's
learned.
a 100% possibility there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Das, when we were installing the camera, or no, it was the day we came down and Thomas and Chris and I were just talking logistics with Rusty's, right?
Yep.
And we're standing here watching so many things happening all at once, much like we just did with all the ships moving around. And we're like, wow. And this all we could just bring this to you. And I didn't have to be there by chance to catch it all, because it's all things that just happen on a daily basis that aren't scheduled and unexpected. And
Yep.
now we can see that, but yeah.
Absolutely. There's so many people asking what type of camera it is. I mean, it's such a glowing review for the performance of the camera. I've never been one to be like, no, that's proprietary information. Like, it's literally a camera we bought off Amazon. So this camera is actually an Amcrest camera. It's like an Amcrest PTZ camera. And I'll put a link to it in chat in case anybody's interested in looking at it. But it is a link to Amazon, which is literally where we got it, right? So there's that. And then there's that over that way. If you want to check it out, I'm not going to be the type of guy who's like, oh no, I'm not going to tell you what type of camera it is. It's an Amcrest 858, and this is a glowing review for this camera. Let's put it that way.
Well, only $20 or only $55 left to go until it's paid off, because
Oh,
one
so
Ray
with
Gun one has tipped in $20. So
Yeah, Ray Gun, we
55
appreciate
left.
you there.
Thank you, Raygun. And I want to tell you, this hangout has lasted more than any other fleet chaser has had the stamina for, y'all. Thomas and I are the last ones standing, or sitting,
Julia,
shall we say.
we have an update. We just got 2 more super chats, and one of them was $55 from Samantha Fields.
No kidding.
Whoa, really?
So that is
Samantha,
the
thank
paid off.
you.
Yeah, Samantha said,
Wow,
thanks
thank
for
you.
all the coverage today with the $55 there. That the revenue that's listed in YouTube is currently the price of the camera.
You guys are so great.
I gotta figure out if am I looking at something that takes out YouTube's part of it? Whatever. I mean, one way or the other. This isn't the only time we're gonna use this camera, so we are able to do this sort of stuff because of y'all's support. And like I said before, we're not just taking this and like, haha, now I'm going to jump into a pool of dollar bills or anything like that. I'm not Scrooge McDucking it over here. We're reinvesting in the stream. We're reinvesting in the coverage. So bringing y'all cool things.
And
you know what we're watching right now? And I don't know, you won't be able to watch it, unfortunately, but I'm going to tease you and I'm going to tell y'all, when we're done with our stream, go outside and look east, because you know what I'm looking at right now?
Mars.
We're looking at Mars. Yeah.
Where is it in the sky?
It's
Oh.
literally coming up to the east.
Like, can I point the camera at it?
No, you can't. I don't think you can point the
I don't-
camera at it.
Oh, no.
Part of the south,
No.
yeah.
It's on the wrong corner of the building.
It's like, now we're going to stargaze. Like, wait, what?
No, earlier I saw something I thought might have been it, but it was actually a plane. But no, I turned around and really I'm looking at Mars and I'm looking at rockets and I'm looking at Mars and I'm having kind of a moment and I wanted to share that with you.
Excellent. It's just hopefully it cooled down a little bit out there. Chris was saying it was a
Oh,
little
it's perfect right now, isn't it?
nice.
Thomas is like, yeah. It's beautiful outside. So make sure you do some stargazing tonight, especially if you live over here on the Space Coast, because we have not exactly had clear skies lately. So
Stargazing? Hang on, I'll try. Let me see.
Yeah.
it might
what
be
is
a
that?
little.
Is that a bug or is that a
coral.
star up there?
There's stars up there. There you
What is
go.
that?
No way.
No way, look at the stars!
You're seeing the stars, yeah. I'll be darned.
What in tarnation?
You got stars.
It's not able to
Oh my
focus on
God.
it. I'd have to go and reconfigure the camera for manual
Yeah.
focus. It's not holding focus on those
Man,
stars.
We could do it. We could do it. I mean, that could get some pretty epic moonset and sunset shots.
This is
And
ridiculous.
honestly, it'll do better when there aren't lights on drone ships right now because it's
Yeah,
kind of giving
yeah.
you an awful lot of ambient light. But normally port is a lot darker than what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, I should look the other way. Let me look out away from the lights.
Yeah,
all
like
of
look
these
out over the
stars?
middle channel.
What the heck? I'm sorry, y'all. I was not expecting to be able to see stars on this thing.
We need an ISS pass.
We do need an ISS
Oh
pass.
man,
Or Starlink.
one would have
Starlink
actually
satellites.
happened yesterday and today.
Whoa, that's like a whole like what? Look at all those stars.
That's ridiculous. Hang on, I'm turning on the defog mode and see if we can. No way. Watch this, y'all. Watch when it changes.
What?
That's cool.
All right, now I have a new challenge as our West Coast folks like Michael are up. We get a pretty good view of Mars in the morning around, well, let's see, I woke up at 6 a.m. today. Yeah, I missed the sisters coming in, y'all, because I knew the boys would be watching it on our camera.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I know I had to work, so thank you for getting that. I
Of
appreciate
course.
it. But you know what? I did. I woke up, I sat on my patio for a minute, and I had a gorgeous view of Mars at like 6 in the morning. So, if you happen to be up later on, Michael, look to our camera's left and see in that sunset view if you can find Mars.
Cool, we'll do.
Yeah.
Oh no, that couldn't have been Jupiter or Saturn or anything like that, was it?
Well, hold on a second. Let me
That
pull
direction.
up my.
Somebody pull up like Heavens Above or something.
Yeah,
Rough
I've
Riders,
I've got Stellarium and I've got it on my phone and let's see. Directly above the booster is Polaris and Ursa Minor. Well, I'll be darned. Yeah. So, yeah. So above and slightly to the left of the booster is Polaris. What were you looking at? Okay, there's Mars. Oh wait, I might actually. You know what? I'm not quite synced. I think you were looking at Polaris and Vega.
Okay. I just went sort
Yeah.
of up from this perspective. I just panned up because I thought, oh, look, it's a funny joke. I'm going to point at the sky. We're not going to see stars. And then all of a sudden, stars started to appear in the silly camera.
Yeah, no, I do think those were the brighter stars that you saw.
Yeah.
Were Polaris, yep, and Vega and Deneb, yep. I'll be darned.
Okay, well, I do know. I mean, I could sit here. I saw Overlook Horizons actually came through. One of our stream friends popped into chat and said if he had access to this camera, he would never get anything done. I know the feeling. I know the feeling where it's just like, oh, look at this, go check this out. Oh, look at this. But I do know that Julia and Thomas, y'all are going to have to head on back at some point. And we did not intend for this to be a 24/7 stream out of the gate here, y'all. Right? So, what is our plan for the stream we're on right now? Are we getting close to where we'll spool it down? We don't think they're going to be lifting any legs or anything like that tonight. Is that something we want to try to cover tomorrow? Like, what are our ideas on this here?
Well, that's all kind of up to you all, because in the morning, I have to go to Orlando. Although I may be able to join you a bit with this on my phone as I'm driving, and I might be able to commentate, but that's kind of handy. Oh my gosh, I just said that, didn't I? Wow. So we can check in the morning as a team and see if there's any movement.
Okay.
But
I mean, I
that's
guess
going to be more up to y'all on that end, because this girl's going to be occupied for most of the day herself. So,
Gotcha. Chris, what were you thinking there?
Well, I mean, I was thinking, tomorrow would be a particularly long day of activities.
Yeah.
and not necessarily conducive to having us on here, like, to be consistently answering questions. But if we're around, I would say there's no reason to not turn it on and use tomorrow as part of the way to work out some of the kinks. I mean, we're always up front, like, we're always learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't necessarily see a problem with leaving it on and letting people watch everything live as it happens. And we can just make a note, like, this is a live stream. There's just no running commentary from us.
right.
Yeah.
I could see that. Maybe folks would be up to having the view of port, but we don't turn on our comments, and we put that note saying, okay, right now we're not commentating. And if we decide now is a good time to pop on and say, hey, look what's going on, they're going to move it and put it, whatever, we can give y'all a little alert on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And for tonight, it's going to be heavily driven by what's going on down at Boca Chica, because I've got a limited amount of server capacity, and if Boca Chica tests another cryo-proof on SN8, which word on the street is they're going to try another cryo-proof test, I'm going to have to redirect some of my server capacity here to bring that Boca Chica live stream in. But we're working on bringing more capacity online so that we can run multiple streams at the same time and that sort of stuff. So we will have some technical stuff for that. I think for now, I wouldn't even be, I'm not set up right now to just leave this online. So
Right.
I think we would be ending the stream here, knowing that there's not anything else we're really expecting to see tonight. And
No.
if we bring it back online, if nothing goes on at Boca Chica, we bring it back online, it may be like a members only test or something like that. But for sure, if you're a member, make sure you're in Discord, and we'll post up that stuff in Discord. Also here on YouTube, there's that little members comments thing, right? And when we figure out what it is that we can support with the capacity that we've got, because we've got two sort of limiting factors. The camera's out there, right? The camera's got internet and power, and that's all the camera cares about. That's all it needs. But we still have to have people, and we still have to have the server bandwidth to actually manage multiple live streams. So we're working on spooling it up, but I believe for this evening, for this stream, we would start sort of spooling this down here. And then if we spool it back up, it may be a members only test so we can work out a couple of the kinks. Honestly, it's been fantastically stable this entire stream. 3 hours almost.
It really has, yeah.
Yeah. So let me run through the rest of the super chats here. I do not want to leave any super chats unshouted out. E came back with another Canadian $5. We appreciate you there. E stands for element, so spooky element. Ah, gotcha. Spooky Element is your name. Spooky Element, thank you so much for the $5 in the explanation. We got Mark Garrett's there at 10 euros. Mark, are you allowed to? What?
Hey, Mark.
How's it going, Mark? We appreciate the 10 euros. Amazing new cam. Great work, team, with some exclamation points in there. Mark,
I'm waving to you, Mark, but you can't see me because I'm not in the line of our camera. But hi, Mark.
We appreciate the kind words and everything else you do for us, y'all. Mark Garrett's there, part of the NASA Spaceflight family. Richmond Sweet, that was a new membership, it looks like. And I don't see the level at Richmond. We appreciate you, and an upgrade on that as well. And I can't see at this point exactly
Red
what level that
team.
was. Say again, Michael?
Red team.
Red team, gotcha. So Richmond, thank you so much for joining the team. We've got, I feel like that's backwards. I don't know what the, I don't know. But anyways, we appreciate the support there. That person, I'll call you EF. How's that sound? Nick Duggar, 1499 says, thanks for the awesome coverage tonight. We appreciate the support there, Nick. We're able to do it because of y'all. A, you show up when we go live, and B, you have all the different ways that you support us. You watch, you like and retweet, you make comments, ask cool questions. Financial support and memberships like that also help us get cameras and stuff like that. But thank you so much. I like this one. Rob Norwood says, go Rusty Cam.
Woohoo!
So, funny story on that, just really quickly. Rob, when I was installing the secondary retention and all the screws and stuff, everything is stainless steel. And the actual eye bolt and chain that secure the camera to the railing up there, it's actually 304 stainless steel. So I made a joke that it's like Starship heritage stainless steel securing our camera to the wall.
Recycled.
Mm.
Let me see here. In Oliver has a camera emoji and did $20 there. We appreciate you, In Oliver. Thank you so much. And then Chad Krotz says, shut up and take my money. Shut up and take my money.
Aw.
Paula Acklin over here. Paula Acklin tossed in 20, one of our photographer friends.
Pauline.
Pauline,
nice.
thank you so much.
Pauline, thank
Yeah.
you.
She's one of our photographer friends who is all over the Cape down there sometimes too, bringing some awesome shots of rocket launches and other things that happen. So she said, I'm in heaven with your continual coverage. I learned so much from y'all. Just wanted to say thank you. I'm in heaven. Pauline, thank you so much for the
Pauline.
kind words.
And I got to say a kind word back because you know what, y'all? Pauline is my fleet sister. And I'm going to tell you that it was her work on the West Coast that inspired me to want to bring East Coast coverage and try and get awesome shots like she had. And, well, let me tell you, it's trouble when she's in port with me. So, yeah. So thank you,
Nice.
Pauline. Thank you so much.
Good times chasing rockets, huh?
That's right.
Yes. Could somebody in the control room grab a link to Pauline's Twitter or something? If you want more cool space photographs and stuff like that, Pauline is a worthy follow as well. Like, toss a link to her Twitter into chat if y'all could.
I got it. There it is.
Thank you. Yeah, there we
Thank
go.
you.
And I'll copy that over on the Twitch side as well. There we go. All right, and then Graham Stockfield, another $5 from Australia. Great new tech, guys. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate the support there, Graham. Harry Young tossing another €8 in, saying, here's another few bucks to start funding down the internet install fees or whatever. Looking forward to seeing more of
Harry.
Port Canaveral. There you go. Harry, thank you for that. And then
Thank you.
here's EF again, tossing another $5 in. EF, thank you very much for the additional support there. So we appreciate you. Let me see. I'm scrolling to make sure I didn't miss anything on this Twitch side. Storm Rider resubbed over on Twitch for 64 months. Thank you very much for the 64 months of being a member of my stream over there on Twitch. So, anyways, team, y'all think we're getting to the point where we're about ready to spool this down here?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, at some point we will look at doing 24/7 streams and stuff like that, but that's not really where we're going for now. We want, anytime we have a stream live, we want you to know that it's something you don't want to miss, right? So we will continue to work on that, and we'll probably run some testing with members only, longer duration streams, just to make sure that we work out the kinks before we release something like that publicly. But we will be watching. NASA Spaceflight will be watching what's going on in port, and if there's something to report and share with you, Julia, I think we got it covered, don't we?
I think we got it covered. Even when I'm at work, you guys are on it. We're good.
Yeah. And at some point, Chris, we'll get it controlled from your Tesla.
Indeed, a good day.
We'll see. So I think
Couple more memberships. Or one more membership. Sorry, Doss.
Yeah,
But,
repeat that, Michael. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Mike came in for Capcom membership. I didn't want to miss that. And then Han Solo, a small token from a galaxy far away. Thank you for the super chat.
Nice.
Now our queue is clear, and you are good to end the stream, boss.
All right, cool. Everybody stop doing things so that we can end the stream. It's sort of weird because normally it's like, oh, we got to pack up. Chris or Thomas is out there and they're like, oh, well, we got to pack up and go away from the press site or whatever. Or Mary, like the event's over. And here, the event's not over and the camera's still live. It's so weird to shut down the stream. But that will mark the end of our inaugural coverage from the NASA Spaceflight Fleetcam situated out at Port Canaveral. One more time, massive thanks to Rusty's Seafood, a restaurant out there at Port Canaveral. We've been working with them for months. We got the camera installed a couple weeks ago, but the camera is there because we got their permission. Basically, they gave us permission to install the camera, get another internet connection there, and get this thing online. So massive thanks to Rusty's. If any of y'all are ever in Port, say thank you to the fine folks at Rusty's and try the Gator Tacos. It's not too much of a commercial, right? Like, I really appreciate the fact they let us do this.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But let's go around really quickly and say who we had on the stream tonight. Out there on site, we had Thomas Berghardt. He's no longer in comms, but he brought our initial
I'm here.
views.
Wait, I'm here.
Oh, you're on Julia's comms.
Yeah, my phone's dead. I stopped talking a while ago, but I'm still here. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are super excited about Fleetcam just like we are. And it's been a pleasure to just sit here in Port and hear Julia talk about all the awesome things Fleet, because she really is the resident SpaceX fleet expert. So it's awesome just to sit here and listen to her share all of her awesome knowledge about this stuff. So I'm happy to sit by and just look at the pretty booster sitting in Port, and happy that you guys are so excited about Fleetcam, because I am too.
Excellent. That was the voice of Thomas Burkhardt, editor, live stream host, and today camera operator extraordinaire out there at the beach at Jetty Beach, I guess, right? Thomas, thank you so much for rolling out and doing that. Also, our fleet expert, you've been hearing her say quite a bit because she knows what's going on at the port. Julia Bergeron, let's get that link up there as well. Julia, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Oh, and thank you for having me join you in Port. And it has been a pleasure sharing stories with y'all. And thanks again for those super chats. I can't believe in one stream your camera's been paid for. And to our new members who are going to help us test this whole thing out and figure out what this looks like for NSF. So I look forward to bringing you new ways to share Port and share it with the team here and with y'all.
Absolutely. And then back here in the studio, we had Chris Gebhardt. Chris, thank you for the time here this evening.
Oh, my pleasure, but a much bigger thank you to Julia and all of her immense port knowledge that make these streams so enjoyable to just listen to. I kind of forgot that I had a microphone and could talk. It was wonderful listening to you, Julia.
Tonight we are all the viewers. And let's see here. Also behind the scenes, Michael Baylor. Michael, thank you for everything you do to get this stuff going. Next Spaceflight up there on Twitter. Thank you, Michael.
No problem. And I mean, I want everybody in chat to say thank you to DOS, because I think it was probably DOS's idea in the first place to do this. Is that fair to say? But it was definitely DOS. It was definitely DOS who made this happen. He put in a lot of work, a lot of hours testing the camera, making sure it worked, and then he drove, several hours down to Port Canaveral to install it himself. So everyone, please say thank you, DOS, in chat.
Oh, Michael, thank you for that. I've had so much fun doing this. I really do love the sort of work that we're able to do and being able to share it with people. So, and I mean, like I said, cameras. I like cameras. Let's get more cameras. But thank you so much for saying that. I've had a blast working on it. Y'all, that is going to mark the end of our stream. I'm John Galloway with NASA Spaceflight. If you're over on the Twitch side, you may know me as DOS. But we are so happy that we're able to bring you this sort of coverage to keep you informed and excited and entertained about what's going on in spaceflight activities, whether it's down at Boca Chica or over here at Port Canaveral, launches that are happening at the Cape, Wallops, stuff that's going on at Vandenberg. Somebody light me a rocket in Vandenberg, please. We'll get a live stream from there. We are so happy that we are able to share this with people all over the rest of the world. And it's because of y'all support. I mean, we keep turning on the streams and y'all keep showing up. So that is a equation that works for all of us. But for now, we will be signing off. Be on the lookout. Like I said, word on the street, there may be a stream from Boca Chica tonight too. Supposed to get another cryo proof test on SN8. And we will talk with Mary. We'll talk with Boca Chica Gal out there about her thoughts on what's happening at Boca Chica. But there may very well be another live stream. We'll see. NASA Spaceflight just has cameras from here to there to all over the map these days. So for now, Port Canaveral signing off. Fleetcam says good night, and we will see you nerds later.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good. Following up. Roger, roll, Atlantic. Flight outside FD off. FD off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.